رسول الله إليكم قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد. Okay?
And they already taught him how to lie.
The satanic book proves that Jesus is God. Even the satanic book proves that Jesus is God.
قال عيسى ابن مريم
The satanic book proves that Jesus is God. Surah 3 verse 45. Surah 3 verse 45 proves that Jesus is God.
Oh, shut up. You Indian bastard.
No one's keeping you here. Why would you stand there and say, shut up, you bastard?
Give all the attention you can. God is speaking.
Got the right to
And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was light of men.
Light of men.
Jesus Christ is identified as the Word of God who steps in to expose the darkness. According to Quran,
Surah 3
Jesus
verse
Christ
45.
is the Word of God
Surah 3
who
verse
crossed in the
45.
tummy of Mary.
Which Quran? American Quran?
He comes from above.
Which one of the 37? Which one of the 37? Which one of the...
Why, let's have one voice.
يا مريم
Yeah, Maryam, yes.
إن الله يبشرك
The translation.
The kalimat.
Which one is it
wrong?
You
don't know?
Jesus Christ
Shame
is
on
the
you.
Word of Allah.
Read John chapter 1. Read John chapter 1.
Brother,
Read John chapter 1. Oh, yes.
What is the meaning?
Yes.
Yes,
The kalma.
yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
The kalma.
Yeah.
Let me read a kalma here.
Yeah.
Oh, let me read a kalma here. Let me read a kalma for you here. Here it says kalma. The Muslims are asking, do we know what is kalma? Do we know what is kalma? The Bible is written way before satanic words. Bible is written way before satanic words. The Quran says, the Bible says, in the beginning was Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Why are you shouting?
And the Word was God. What is Word?
What is the word?
What is Word? The Word was God. And was put in place. The Word.
That's how Jesus is
The Word got flesh. The Word got flesh. That is Jesus. That is Jesus.
do not call him his devil. Jesus
So your prophet knows the meaning? Your Muslim knows the meaning?
What is this, man? Only of them shouting.
You don't know who this word is. You don't know who this word is.
Oh, they're not fucking speaking
Clearly
English, man. What is this?
says that word is God Himself.
We've been taught everything.
The word is God Himself.
How to eat food.
This Bible is written
Hey, Ahmed, one word.
before Quran. And the Quran is satanic book.
هذا كذا تفز هذا لا ينتهي
That child's care. They think that's an appropriate way to
No. Don't do that again. Is this the way? Listen, what is the
سيدنا
way?
العربي
What is the
سيدنا العربي وذا كلمة وذا meaning إلى الله
My sister asked me what's the meaning of. Why are you changing the topic? No. She's asking you what is the kalima. He's trying to prove from the Bible.
What is kalima?
even Arabic what's the كلمة mean
Even Quran says,
what's the كلمة
even Quran says, listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Bible says.
I told you. Bible is written way before Quran. Way before Quran. Bible is written way before Quran, and the Bible says, Kalma is God Himself.
Bible says.
Kalma is God Himself.
20.
Yeah, what
You
it says?
must kill and destroy those who worship another God. That's Bible says. The Quran says. Listen. The Quran says.
This is not
Be
Quran.
righteous and act righteously
Surah.
to those.
Surah 9 verse 29. Tell Jews and Christians wherever you find them.
Chapter 16. Open your
Surah
Bible.
9 verse 29 says,
Open your Bible. The Bible
Why are
says.
you making so much noise? We want to hear what you have to say.
You've been so much deceived. You're only
listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Sunday
Even Surah 3 verse 45 says, Surah 3 verse 45 says that angel is coming with the good news.
Open the Quran.
Good news of the word. And that word's name is Jesus.
Let me open the Quran. Gentleman wants us to open the Quran. So I already made a case from the Bible that the word of God, Lord Jesus Christ, the
Which
Son
verse?
of Man,
Which
the
verse?
Son of God,
31,
came
which
into the
verse?
world and
Ask her.
dwelling among us.
Ask her, 31.
Listen carefully,
And my
Father.
brother,
No,
Listen,
I'm just saying.
keep quiet and listen carefully.
my brother, say the
Listen
point.
carefully. Listen carefully.
According to Surah 3 verse 49, Surah 4 verse 171, Jesus is the word of God.
Amen.
Who come
Before
from
that
heaven.
Before
So
Amen.
Before that verse,
Jesus
before that verse,
is Kalmatullah.
Kalimatullah. No, you are satisfied. Yes, he's the Kalimatullah, son of Mary, not son of Allah.
Kalmatullah.
yeah, before verse.
Come this way a little bit.
So this word got a name,
You don't know.
and that name is Jesus.
Of course, ask
إن الله يبشرك بكلمة منه
In our religion, women are more important role.
Yes, yes.
Women are so important.
I tell you what, I tell you what the Christians said about women.
What it says?
Verse
You're
11.
coming with a fuel of hellfire.
The Christian said,
You're coming with a fuel of hellfire.
if she help,
You're coming with a fuel of hellfire.
that is Christian is saying.
Yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
why God
And
said,
the Bible.
Deuteronomy
Of
25.
hellfire.
Deuteronomy 25 says, chop your right hand. But this is not like Islam. Islam says, look after your woman, look after your wife, look after your sister, look after your daughter. It's not like that. It's not like that. You are representing the Islam the wrong way, the wicked way. Don't cover yourself and talk to us, please. Islam says,
Yeah, cover your head. Cover yourself. Cover yourself.
First Corinthians said,
Marine Christian lady, she wearing hijab. She wearing hijab. That is Christian. Christian woman.
First Timothy said, the woman should cover her head. She did not cover her head. Shave her head off.
He's shouting.
If you are the true believer, you should shave your head off. If you are the true believer, you should shave
We hold her down when we shave her.
Yes, you should shave your head. No, tell me the truth.
Why are you
This is
shouting?
not the Bible.
Allah says,
But you don't follow
Allah
my
says
book.
the Muslim
You know
women
who
are
said
the
Verify.
the fuel of hellfire. Allah says. Allah says. Muslim women are fuel of hellfire. Allah says that women
Christian.
are
She showed her hair.
Allah says the women Muslim women are they are not going in paradise.
Who said?
Who said?
Allah says.
What is it?
Allah says
Where?
the
Don't push
Muslim
him.
women are not going in paradise because they are having a menstruation. Shame on that Allah.
Where?
Shame on that Allah. Shame on that Allah.
لا إله إلا الله.
Shame on that Allah.
لا إله إلا الله.
Shame on that Allah who is creating you.
لا إله إلا الله وحده القهار.
Shame on that Allah who
لا
is
إله إلا
creating
الله.
you like that.
Shut
Shame on that Allah who is creating women with menstruation. With menstruation. And Allah is saying because of the menstruation,
That's how
the
you
woman will not be in paradise.
Don't talk to me.
Shame on that.
Don't stay away from him. Stay away. You wish. You wish. You wish. I think he's a real Muslim. He's a real Muslim, baby. He knows what they're doing.
Shame on that Allah.
No.
Shame on that.
That is what Jesus said. Is that Jesus said?
Who says?
Is
Yeah.
that Jesus said?
That's
Jesus prays to Allah. Jesus prays to Allah. He said,
Jesus is a beautiful
Allah,
Shaitan.
shame on you.
Jesus is a beautiful Shaitan. Jesus is a beautiful Shaitan.
عليه السلام. Jesus peace upon him.
Why have you
Isa عليه السلام.
Jesus is a beautiful Shaitan. Oh, keep your hand away.
وقال عيسى يا بني
Keep your hand
إسرائيل
away.
إني رسول
All
الله
right.
إليكم
So,
مصدقا
listen
بكلمة
carefully.
منه اسمه
Listen carefully.
مصدقا بما بين
Allah
يديه
says,
من
Allah
التوراة
says,
رسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد
Muslim women, because of menstruation, they are going in the hellfire.
Who do not
Shame on that Allah. Shame on that Allah.
عيسى عليه السلام ابن مريم عليه السلام
Allah.
عيسى ابن مريم لا عيسى ابن الله أيها الكفر الفجرة
Disrespectful that Allah, who is creating women,
created your mother, created your father.
no.
He is Allah.
For me, Allah is a Satan.
No,
For me, Allah is a Satan.
He's the one who gives you eyes.
Even Quran says,
Jesus was
even
walking with the
Quran
shaitan.
says,
Jesus was walking with the
even
shaitan.
Quran says,
Jesus was walking
this,
with the shaitan.
no.
He was tempting. He was tempting. But Jesus will be upon him. We love it. We will believe on this. We don't believe on this.
even Quran says that Allah is a Shaitan. He is giving the revelation in Muhammad's mouth.
Why are you disrespectful to your creator?
We don't rate them.
Why are you disrespectful to your creator?
We don't rate
The one who
My
created
creator,
Yes.
my creator is Jesus.
That's why you like
My creator is Jesus. My creator is Jesus.
Who created Jesus?
My creator is Jesus.
Who created Jesus?
So,
Who created Jesus?
be here.
If your creator is Jesus,
my
who created
creator is
Jesus?
Jesus. Not Shaitan Allah. Not Shaitan Allah. My creator is
Who
Jesus.
created Jesus?
My creator is
Who
Jesus.
created Jesus?
So Jesus is my creator.
Who created Jesus?
No one created Jesus. No one created Jesus. Jesus created.
Okay.
No knowledge about
Jesus created it.
Jesus was not created.
Let's read. Let's read the knowledge.
He's saying that Jesus
Let's read.
What do you like?
Let's read. Let's read.
Jesus created him.
You like freedom of speech?
Satanic knowledge of Quran.
Who created Jesus?
Satanic knowledge of Quran.
You love the freedom.
Oh, where is Jesus? Where is Jesus now?
I'm not running anywhere. You're the one that's run away. You're the one that's run away. I've not gone anywhere. You know how brilliant it is.
Jesus.
You know how fantastic it is.
Get back to Jesus.
You
come here because you love Christians.
You say Jesus. You said Jesus. You said Jesus. You said no. I want to know my
وقال
question.
عيسى ابن مريم
My question
وقال
is.
عيسى ابن
My
مريم
question is.
يا
Who
بني
created
إسرائيل
Jesus?
إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من توراة ومبشرا برسولا يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد فلما جاءهم البينات قالوا إن هذا سحر مبين
No, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Yes.
So,
Is Jesus, when Jesus is in the hands
Whoever-
of God, is he in the
whoever
right hand
says
of God or left hand of God?
these women, Muslim women,
Alhamdulillah.
they are not
Yeah.
going in Jannah because of the menstruation
Oh,
they are having.
so what it says, I'm going to Jannah, alhamdulillah. I have my blessing,
That is
Jannah.
not creator.
I believe in
That
Jesus.
is not creator.
I believe in Jesus and of Maria as a prophet.
Who knows
And the humans. I believe in Moses and David
women
and
are designed
Elijah,
for this.
Adam, David, Solomon. They're all prophets of God,
If you're not
human.
I
believe in
them.
them.
So, the
Alhamdulillah.
question is,
Listen carefully.
the question is asking, who created Jesus? And same Muslim told me today, Jesus is in the hands of Allah according to Islam. I am asking the question, is Jesus in Allah's right hand or is Allah's left hand? Allah doesn't have the left hand.
Okay. Is Jesus a human or not? Is Jesus a human?
المدة التي يوم التاكس
So these Muslims only understand the satanic Allah who says that women, Muslim women, they are the fuel of Jahannam. They are the fuel of Jahannam because they are menstruating. Shame on that Allah.
That's Bible says.
Shame on that Allah. Shame on that Allah. Because if Allah is the creator, then He knows what is and how He created the woman.
Listen, Allah gives respect to the woman. Do you understand? You don't even know.
So here's a couple of objections which Muslims are very much afraid to discuss. Here's the objections. Question is, who created Jesus? In somehow, it seems their brain is not working. Come this way, come this way.
He was born miraculously.
Question is,
Come here.
don't touch me. Do not touch me again.
Somebody catch you. I'm going to order woman looking for a man. She has to
Jesus created everything.
Jesus created everything. Jesus created me.
Don't cry. I know you want to hide behind the skirt of your child.
No, he doesn't. I never. Sister, I never. I couldn't.
And pick up your claim so that where Allah created Jesus.
Allah created. I don't speak
Where did Allah create Jesus?
Quran, it says Allah created Jesus. Yeah, Allah said in the Quran. In Quran. Do you have Quran?
I have Quran. Yeah.
Give it to me. Where's your Quran?
I'm not going to pass
Open your Quran.
Open your Quran.
We know the Quran by heart.
You said you know. This chapter 3. This chapter 3, Al Imran. This verse 59.
It's Al
Al Imran, chapter 3,
Yeah, first.
verse 59. Is this Quran? Is this Quran? It's
What
not
is it?
Quran. You
It's
show me.
not
Show me,
Arabic.
show me.
This
Let
is
me
satanic
read. Let
book.
me read for you.
Satanic book.
Let
Were
me
you
read
born
for
by
you.
Satan?
No,
Were you born?
let me read for you.
Where you born from?
I read it Surah
No.
3 verse
Okay.
59.
You can read. That's not Arabic.
In the example of Jesus to Allah is like that of Adam.
Adam, yes,
yes.
He created him from dust. Then he said to him, be, and he was. So this is how Allah created Adam.
And Jesus, because it's example, you must complete. You must complete the sentence. You
Hello.
must complete the sentence. Listen.
You know your glasses. You know your glasses. Are they correct for your eyes?
It is talking about Allah created Adam
and Jesus.
from dust.
And Jesus.
Okay?
And
When we
Jesus.
go to- when we
And
go to-
Jesus.
When we go to Surah
No
Jesus.
problem, we can understand. So read it, just read it, don't explain, just read it again. We can understand.
English, just read it.
Read, yeah, just read it.
Inshallah.
And we all understand
We-
English.
we can help
We
you.
all
We can help
understand
you get
English.
into Islam,
Like you understand, we all
Inshallah. We
understand
will bring you
English.
there.
So read it again.
Are you gonna
No, no, bro.
No, don't explain me. Don't explain
We need an
it.
explanation.
We just told
We
you.
all understand English. We all understand English.
Example like
You
Adam.
stated
Jesus,
that Allah
Jesus,
created
example
Jesus.
like Adam.
I am asking you.
It's
no,
fifty
don't
nine,
ask
it's
me.
59.
You look
Created
at the Quran.
Jesus.
Read it
So
from the
just
Quran.
read it.
How?
Read it. Read
Show
it.
me, show me.
Okay, I just told you.
59.
The example of Jesus to Jesus to Allah is like
Adam.
of Adam. He created him from dust. Then he said to him, be and he was.
Yes. That's it.
Where
That's
did?
it. It is.
Where did?
Jesus is not
It's example.
Where
What is
did?
what is the example? What is the example of Jesus?
I'm trying to understand.
No, no.
What was not
I'm really
created?
trying to understand.
What's not created from
How
dust?
did Allah create
Who
Adam?
says?
Yeah, how did he create Adam? With dust.
Okay, how?
From dust, yeah?
Is correct?
Yes. She wants to bring something like she wants to say blood. She wants to say I will.
No.
How did Allah create Adam? Okay?
Why you created? God created me. For what? Oh, he created me to worship.
So this is Surah 15.
So
Surah 15.
15.
Okay?
Surah 15.
Surah 15.
But I still love you, my brother.
And
That's why
when
we
your Lord
invite
said to
Hey.
angels,
them for Jesus.
excuse me. You believe in Jesus? You believe in Jesus? You believe in Jesus?
Oh yes.
What you believe about him? What you believe about him?
Did I say that?
What do I believe?
Yes. What you believe about him?
He is God.
He's
Don't
God.
lie.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Okay.
Don't
So
lie
you
on my face.
my children
So
He is sinless.
What verse is that?
He is God. He is Spirit. He is Word.
okay. Okay.
If
One
I
second.
want to talk to both of you, I want you to listen. I want you to listen when I speak. Okay.
What
If
verse is
he's
that?
God, is he son of God?
And when
So
your
my
Lord
Jesus
says to
is
angels,
not a
I
satanic
will
Allah.
create a
Is he son of God?
out of clay.
He's saying
and
Jesus
from the
created me.
outer
Let's
black
listen to
man.
her, please. Is Jesus son of
And
God?
when I have
He's not gonna
Yeah.
Is son of God? So is he God?
bread, then fall down to him to prostrate him. So the angels prostrated all of them entirely. So this is how Allah created Adam. So
That's not
Allah-
creation. That's not creation. That's called command of how to worship.
Yeah.
That's not creation. You're mixing creation up with the commands.
Is-
You're
is the-
mixing
there is
two
a
things
problem.
up.
You're understanding.
Now I
not
think you
in the
realize.
Quran.
I think you realize now.
Read 28.
I created
No, no.
him
No,
out
28.
of clay.
Yes,
and
finish,
I created
finish,
him my bread.
finish.
Okay.
Finish. That's it.
No,
Finish.
that's
How
not
is he
it.
creating
That's
you?
it.
Listen,
That's
listen.
it.
Creation.
Listen.
No, it's not clear.
Allah
Listen,
created
listen.
Adam
Okay.
from the clay
Yes.
and
Adam
breathed
is
into
different
Adam.
verse.
Yes.
And then Adam said,
That's it.
"Finish
Creation finish.
before it is too late."
Was Adam
And then Allah,
born
breath of
with
Allah,
mother or without mother?
and the breath
Was
of
Adam born with
Why are
mother
you not
without
listening?
mother?
So you don't care about what I say.
Was-
you don't care what I say.
Was Adam
According to
was
Quran,
Adam
Surah
born
15,
with mother
Allah
without mother?
created
Adam
Adam
was
from
created.
clay.
We can't understand English.
Allah created
We can't-
Adam.
this is the related.
If Allah
She
created
Don't explain.
Adam,
Why you
Jesus
explain? We can't
exactly the
understand.
same.
Just read it and we understand.
I don't understand.
So just
Explain
read
to
it.
me. I read it
Okay,
and I don't
28
understand it.
only, 28 only about the creation. You read
What is
all
your
the,
name?
like,
What is your name?
Hassan.
Hassan.
Yes.
So I read it.
What is your
I
name?
don't-
What's your?
I read it. I don't understand it. I
So,
want to
just
explain
I
it to
will
me.
explain. So I will explain.
So,
Don't you
claim
explain?
was,
Just
claim was,
yeah.
Okay,
Allah,
No, read it. Don't
Listen.
from your memory. Not
Listen.
from your memory. Read it.
listen,
You can't read.
claim
I'm listening.
was,
But read from the
Allah
Quran.
created
Wow.
Adam
Okay.
and
Okay.
Jesus exactly the same way.
Okay.
So I read the verse
It's your
here.
explanation. This.
I read
Just
the verse
no. This is
from
your
the Quran
explanation.
that Allah
No, just a minute.
created
Just a minute.
Adam
One second.
from the clay. So
Okay.
can you be kind enough and then provide
Okay.
the verse for me where Allah creates Jesus from the clay?
It's
Oh,
it's
you want
chapter
that verse?
3:59.
You want that
Chapter
verse?
3 verse 59.
Yeah.
Just read it.
Chapter
Just
3,
read
verse
it. Read it
59.
loudly.
You want that-
and we
you want
understand.
that verse?
I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
Just read it. Don't
Chapter
explain.
3,
We
verse
understand.
Guess what?
59
Guess what?
Supposed to be answer the question.
Okay.
Allah created Jesus from the clay exactly the way He created
No, you explain
Adam.
the way. You explain the way.
was he born
you asked
with mother
me-
or without
just-
mother?
Just listen to something. You said how it's created.
Sorry,
So just read how.
just a second.
Just read
Was
how.
Adam born with mother or without mother?
This is 350.
Does Adam have a mother? No. Correct?
But Jesus has a mother.
Yes.
So what is
First
that?
time they
So what
say-
is
No, no,
that?
no,
First time they say-
We all human beings the same. No problem.
I do sometimes
So you are
understand.
saying Jesus created me?
Stupidness
You
is a
don't-
gift.
was
But in
Adam
this
a
occasion,
word?
I am
You didn't read.
thinking
You didn't
Was
read
Adam
the
a
verse.
word?
I need you to be
Just
stupid.
read it.
No.
You
should.
Adam was not a word.
I'm scared of you. Satan.
Jesus created
You wanna
me.
read?
Jesus created me.
She has read the scripture.
No, she explained.
Jesus created
Jesus,
the
one second, when she's saying
Jesus created
God
the
created
universe.
Jesus, and now she's saying Jesus created me.
Everything.
I did- I did-
read it already from
You
your
said
chapter.
God
I
created
understand you, I
Jesus.
understand
You said
you.
God created Jesus. You did. You just did before. And now you're saying Jesus created me. It doesn't make sense. How many God there is? 3, 4, 5 gods.
What is wrong with your head?
He's good dancer. He's good dancer.
This is now you hire me. This is now a good example for argument.
So
Even
can
you.
you,
Just
would you
yeah.
be able, Hassan, would you be kind enough
Yes.
and then show me the Quranic verse?
Yeah, it's in your heart. It's in-
Allah
I-
creates Jesus from the dust.
Okay, guess what?
59, I
Guess
just
what?
wanna. I
From
just
the
wanna open
clay
you open
and
the
then
bed.
breathe
59.
into Jesus.
Guess
Yeah,
what?
just-
I will read it to you. No, I will read it to you. You want it? You want the Quran?
59.
Yeah.
You want the Quran?
I'm going to have it.
خلقه من تراب.
Can you do me a favor? Just read it and you understand. Just read it.
Sir,
Yeah.
Quran is
Don't
so
give your
well that
explanation.
you
No, no, no.
explained it.
No, no,
Should
don't
be
explain.
Don't
Don't
explain. We
explain.
understand
Just
English.
read it.
So just read it.
Read the Quran.
We understand English, alhamdulillah. Go.
Yeah, read the Quran. Don't give
No,
explanation.
no, it's not about us. We already we
all
already
understand
choose our religion. Just for people. For people to just read it. Sure, people can't choose the right.
And Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity, Arabic word is from that as far.
No, you're reading.
No, this is not the bed. This is not the
You're
bed.
going.
No, you're not reading that verse.
And
No, no.
she believed
No,
in the words
don't
of
touch her book.
No, no.
and
It's
his
the
scripture,
wrong.
and she was
It's the wrong.
devoutly
It's the wrong.
obedient.
That's how
It's
she's
the wrong.
playing.
Just to explain
That's how
to
she's
you.
playing game.
No, no, no. It's the wrong verse. No, no. It's the wrong verse. You didn't.
You didn't read.
No,
no, no.
You didn't read. Chapter 3,
Take the
verse
spirit of
59.
Allah.
You didn't approve for me anything.
You
You
read chapter
didn't
3,
approve
verse
for me
59.
anything by this. You didn't approve me.
Great.
We all can.
That's very
Please,
great.
everybody.
Hassan,
Chapter 3,
can you tell
59.
me-
It's the
Hassan,
same.
can you tell
It's
me-
the same.
What's
We
the-
can Google it.
what's
We
the-
can all Google it.
What's this
All
book?
Google it.
Hassan,
But
listen to me.
I choose you from
Hassan,
the book.
listen to me. Hassan, listen to me.
I'm listening.
Did Allah-
What's this book?
did
What's this
Allah-
book?
did Allah
Come in, man.
ever
What's this book?
go into anyone's private
No,
part?
let me answer first by the question. You ask a question.
This is my
No, no, no.
question.
No, you ask
Did
already
Allah-
question. No, no.
Did Allah
No, Hatun,
go
Hatun,
into
Hatun.
anyone's private part
Hatun,
to create Adam?
Hatun. I listen to you. You ask two questions.
What's that book?
Let me answer your first question. This is how we are going.
Screaming, my ears are gone.
So, first question.
My ears.
Just open chapter 3, verse 59. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not. For me, it's not the same. We can all Google
I
it.
read
Can you read it again?
verse 59.
Can you read it again?
twice.
Can you
And
read
then
it
I
again?
asked the question.
Can you read it again? Can you? Can you? Or you can't?
I ask you the question of
So I am
private
answering you now. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Just verse 3, chapter 3, 39.
I'm reading it again. Okay. Indeed, the example of Jesus
no.
is like that that of Adam. He created him from dust. Then he said to him, "Be," and he was.
Okay,
And then
Jesus
after
and
that,
the
listen,
No, no.
Hassan,
No, don't say after that.
after
Don't say
Adam
after that.
created by
Hassan.
me.
Listen,
No.
after that,
No, just-
Was
I
Adam
went to-
created by B?
After that, I went to Surah 15.
No,
and then I read
listen,
Surah
step by step,
15.
step by step. You want the answer, step by step.
Hassan,
Step by
listen
step.
to me.
Hatun, step by step. We read the verse, and it's clear.
Hassan, you didn't answer my question now.
No, I'm answering.
So
It's
if
very
Allah
clearly
created
59.
Jesus, and
No,
Adam
no.
is exactly the same.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah.
provide for me
Yeah, from
how
dust.
Allah created Jesus from the dust. Because I read to you
We all,
Surah
even
66,
Adam.
verse
Yeah.
12,
Yeah.
where it states that
Yeah.
Spirit of Allah blow into Mary's
Okay.
private part.
This is
that
second
doesn't-
question. This is second
does-
question.
I haven't finished my
Let me.
question.
Okay, keep
So,
going.
Does the private part of Mary is a dust?
Okay, let me explain now. You asked, let's explain. So, first of all, you asked how. You asked.
Just a second.
No problem. Take your time.
Yes, I'm listening.
You asked how it's created, and I answered you, which is 59. It's Adam and Jesus is the same. And no, bro. This
I asked you
by
to- I
that.
asked you
No.
It
Just let
says
me.
Adam was created by saying B.
Why did
And
you-
by that,
B.
yeah, and Jesus as well.
Show
and
me,
Jesus as well.
show me.
No,
Let's
allow him.
She read it. She
When
read it.
Adam was created by B.
Explain to him.
God,
Explain to him because you read it. Just read it for him again.
And
He asking.
form a man.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Read the verse, please, for him again. By your language.
Sir,
For him.
Sir, let
We
me-
all
let me-
listening.
let me make it
Just,
very-
I wanna keep going. I am standing. I am standing.
Let me
Yes.
make it
Okay.
very clear. I know you think I am much better than Muhammad. I can read, but I'm not here to read the same verse again to you.
No,
again.
for him, not for me.
I am-
Okay, so stop asking.
So now, can you
No
be-
problem.
Can you
Stop
be-
asking. No problem. I'm fine. I don't need to approve anything. I have to choose my way. So no, just
Can you
know.
continue with
So
your answer?
okay, for Adam and Jesus, I believe all human beings created from dust. Not just Adam and Jesus. We all human beings.
So
We
where in the
all.
Quran does it say
We
so?
all.
That
You believe
Jesus
all
is
the human
created
beings are created from
by
dust?
dust.
Yeah, it's 59. Please, anybody Google the Quran
Hassan,
in English because I don't have
I
an
read
English.
Surah
No,
59.
59. I have 59 here. I have 59 here.
Okay.
And it says,
Yeah.
it says that Adam was created by.
No,
saying
read it.
Show me.
Read it.
Show me.
I have
Adam
it in
was
Arabic.
created
Okay.
by saying B.
Okay.
Because for
Okay.
B, saying B mean instant existence. Instant existence. This is what the word B means.
Mold it into a man and said,
But-
this is Jesus.
Okay.
But when God
Are you in a hurry?
Adam,
We have time.
He
We have
took the
time.
mud. He formed
We
the
have time.
man. Then he breathed.
We have time.
That's the process of creating Adam. But Allah is wrong here. Allah
Okay.
is wrong
Anyone a part of us can read English? A part of us.
Allah is wrong here.
Can you read
by
English?
saying that
Anyone, no problem.
he
Anyone?
used word
Can you read
be.
English? Can you read English? A
Allah
part
is
of us.
wrong
A part
here.
of us. Can you read it loud? Just read this.
Read it loud.
Just read this.
The similitude of Jesus before Allah
Okay,
is
This.
Sheikh,
imagine what you
Yeah.
said. Actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Sheikh, it's prayer time.
No problem.
The similitude of
Don't run.
Jesus
Don't run.
before
Muslim, come here.
Allah
Come here.
is as that of Adam.
And show us.
Yeah.
Show us there.
Created him from dust.
To Adam.
Then said to him, be, and he was.
That's it.
Good.
No. I didn't finish.
Can I ask a question? What does the word similitude mean?
I didn't finish.
What
Let
does
me.
the word similitude mean?
Let me explain.
No, answer the
Let me.
question.
No. I don't
You have
understand.
used
Sorry.
a statement there.
Sorry. We all. Not
I am
I am
still
the one who
waiting.
explained to you.
Answer to the question.
No problem.
I am still
No
waiting.
problem. So
Answer to my question.
So what I believe,
Listen,
it's all human beings from dust. Even Jesus, even Adam.
It doesn't
This is.
so it doesn't look like from any verse in the Quran
Yeah.
that Jesus is created from dust. So
This is okay. This is for me. It's
Hassan,
clearly
listen.
that.
Hassan,
So-
listen. I know people identify you as a sheikh, but I am afraid
No, I'm not.
you failed.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry that when the
I am individual Muslim as every
I'm sorry
Muslim.
when the gentleman called you as sheikh. It's prayer
No
time.
problem. It's
You
your
simply
opinion and I respect
acknowledge
it.
the
Thank you.
authority
It's
is given to you.
It's
So
your
let me-
opinion and
let
it's
me-
accepted.
let
Thank
me
you.
put
It's
my
for me.
argument
No.
together.
No problem. You but just let me a second. I believe from this verse, I understand Jesus created from dust as it is Adam. So your English, maybe you understand, you're better than me in English. I'm not that good, so you understand something. Let people understand something. It's chapter 3, verse 59. Anyone understand difference?
Yeah,
We
let
can't.
me respond.
That's it.
Let
Sorry.
me respond.
Sorry, excuse me.
I am afraid to tell you that
bro.
your answer
Don't
is not
afraid, just say
sufficient. Your answer is
No,
not
bro.
sufficient
No,
enough.
bro. I'm
Reason
sorry.
for
I'm
that
sorry. I
is-
didn't explain.
Reason,
Keep going to talk to the.
are you going to cut me off again?
No. Just I said I am
What
sorry.
you
I
said.
didn't explain.
Okay,
That's
then
why. That's
shush.
yeah.
It is your turn. You can.
No,
you can
I don't want to
apologize
take
if you
turn
want.
again. I don't want to take. For me, I had
She
enough.
allowed you to talk.
But just keep. No. I don't want to talk again. Just.
All right, good. So you want to listen.
Keep. Yeah.
So I already explained it to you that Jesus is unique. According to Islam, Jesus is not created like Adam.
This is
Adam,
your understanding.
You said you are not. You are going to listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
According to Quran, Adam is created from the dust by the hands of Allah. Allah breathed into Adam and then give life to Adam. So Adam doesn't have mother and father. Adam is the first human being. Allah created the first human being from dust, from the clay, black mud. That's how the Quran puts together.
Okay.
And then you look at the Surah 4 verse 171, Surah 3 verse 45 is explaining Jesus as the Word of God, who was the Spirit of Allah, cast in the tummy of Mary and become Jesus as the Word of God. And then you look at Islamic tradition, so you look at Surah 66 verse 12, Allah makes it very clear. Allah didn't create.
No,
Allah
just open
didn't
it. Just
create.
open it. Just
Allah
open it
didn't
and read it.
create
Why you explain it?
Jesus exactly the way he
Why you
created
explain it?
Adam. Allah created Adam
Because
from the
your
dust
Allah failed to explain this.
No.
versus
Just read it. I can
Jesus.
understand.
Your Allah failed to
Jesus
explain
is the
this
breath of
word.
Allah.
Just let she read it and we can understand. Let's she read it.
He explained it
Versus
wrongly.
Sorry,
Jesus is the breath.
she interrupts. Sorry.
Jesus is the breath of the Spirit of Allah, blew into the Mary's private part, according to Surah 6.
Yeah,
12.
okay.
So,
Keep going.
would you be kind enough and then show me a verse simply says, this is how Adam created from out of the clay, this is Allah formed and fashioned him, and this is how Jesus is created, because Quran gives unique description for Jesus.
Sorry about that.
Quran doesn't explain.
Sorry.
Tell us Jesus
No
is
problem. For me, chapter 3, verse 59, it's clear enough for me. So, sorry, don't interrupt, please. Please, don't interrupt. Please, don't interrupt. No, don't interrupt. No problem. Just, Hatun, please, let me complete. This is your video and you will keep talking after me, no problem. Just explain after me as well as how as you want. Just let me keep saying my word, just I go and you explain for your audience or for the world what you want, no problem. For me, chapter 3 in Quran, verse 59, it's clear how God created Jesus. No, let me keep, because you interrupt, I need to repeat the whole sentence again. So, for me, if you didn't understand it as what I understood it, I think we have misunderstanding of the same words. So, let people decide how chapter 3 verse 59 say about Jesus. And for me, Jesus and all of us are human beings. We have respect for Jesus as a prophet, as all prophets, beyond them all, and for Adam and for all human beings, but we all human beings. So that's what I believe. So thank you. No problem. Just explain for me. No problem. She wants to explain to you what she wants. I had enough. Thank you.
Before you go, let me say
No,
this.
sorry about that.
Before you go,
I don't have time, people. Sorry.
if you don't have time,
Bring any Muslim then.
Time for Islam.
Bring any Muslim for us to explain Surah 359.
well done, man.
If Allah is creating Adam by saying be, then Allah is giving a wrong information to every Muslim. Allah is giving a wrong information by saying that I have created Adam by saying be, whereas Allah took a dust from a man, breathed in his nostril. Be means to be insist existence. So be does not mean the process. of creation. Be means the instant existence. That is be. So Allah is giving a wrong information to Muslim. So come to Jesus, who is giving the right information throughout the Bible. Throughout the Bible, Jesus is only giving the right information. Allah is fair everywhere, even in the Bible. Allah is fair.
So Quran gives unique description and unique identity to Lord Jesus Christ. While Quran is false book, yet Quran identifies Jesus as the word of Allah. And question is that if Jesus is the word of Allah, then why would Muslims state that Jesus is created like Adam from the dust? There is no verse in the Quran tells us Allah fashioned Jesus from the black mud and then breathed into him. There is nothing states that in the Quran. Surah 66 verse 12 identifies that Spirit of Allah is breathing into Mary's private part. So that doesn't look like they are created exactly the same.
No.
While Lord Jesus Christ is Lord Jesus Christ is identical.
What sense? In what sense they are same?
I'm going to give you two.
In what sense they are same?
Jesus never had a parent.
Jesus is not a sinner. Adam is a sinner. In this sense, are you talking about? In this sense,
I'll take that sense.
Adam is a sinner. Jesus is not a sinner. So there is no sense in that. There is no sense in that. So Jesus and Adam are not same.
Uncle, you haven't heard
Not
my
same.
Hear it out, then you can debate off it.
Jesus is a creator. Jesus is a creator, but Adam is not a creator. So Adam and Jesus are not same. They are not same. Jesus is a spirit. Adam is not a spirit. Jesus is a word. Adam is not a word. So Jesus and Adam, they are not same. So Allah is giving a wrong information in the Quran.
Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
A pagan?
And you donkey.
Pagan.
Liar ya
Pagan Muhammad.
Liar ya Abu Lahab.
Pagan Allah.
Liar ya Abu Lahab. Robin ya
Yes.
Liar.
Because Jesus never had a father and Adam never had a father. That's the part is the same. The thing is, you're not getting the idea of where are we coming from.
Did Adam had a mother? No. Jesus had a mother.
Who doesn't say that?
Did God have a mother?
I just told you the answer.
God have a mother?
Can God come in a burning bush? Yes, He
I
can.
already explained it.
Can God come in the womb of mother? Yes, He can. Because He is Almighty.
What did He know when He was
He is Almighty. He can come on the burning bush. He can come on the mountain. He can come anywhere He wants. That's why He is Almighty.
All different mud, brown, Caucasian,
So what?
white, black.
So what? That's why Allah is a fair. That's why Allah is a fair. He cannot come to creation. But my God, who is Almighty, He can come on earth anytime He wants and any way He wants.
That's your own translation.
That's the difference between my God and Allah. So you need my God.
Burst the Quran. A
Come
woman
to
that
me.
burst the Quran.
Come to Jesus.
How can I trust you? And you have funny pictures of the Prophet Muhammad.
Who is giving the right and true message?
not a prophet?
At least, if you're a sincere Christian,
You
if you're a
need
sincere
a
Christian,
true message.
would at least compromise. You are inside
While Sahih Muslim tells us Allah created Muhammad from the black man, Muslim disagrees with that. Allah didn't create Adam from black man, but from the different colors. So that's fine. If that's what you want to go from. Okay. So I am sorry that please don't buy Sahih International traditional Quran, according to Muslims, they are misrepresenting Allah. Check the Arabic incoming days. So can you be kind enough? And then agree with me. Allah, with his hands, he forms Adam, okay, from the clay, breathes into Adam, and then breath of Allah is life to Adam, correct?
Breath of Allah. Why do you have to be so specific in every detail? You understand? Why do you have to do? God is the creator of all. He's the all sustainer.
Would you
He's the
agree
one who
with
created
me?
Adam.
The way-
Period. Period. You don't have to go details how
Would
it
you
happened.
I am sorry that you think that's deep down, but Allah told that was important to put that in the Quran. So I take that as you are agreeing with me how Allah created Adam. So, how was Jesus created? So Allah created Adam from the mud. How was Jesus created?
Lady, I'll give you one verse. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Your religion is your religion. My religion is
That
my
was
Why are you here?
obligated.
Why are you? For what reason you are here?
That was obligated.
For
Just
what
answer my
reason you are
question
here?
now.
You should be sitting at home. Do you, your religion, go home. Go home and sit there. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Don't listen other religion, yeah? Listen to other religion. That's why you are here.
Why do you listen to Muslims?
That's why you are here. That's why you are here. If to you, it's your religion, you should be sitting at home.
Because if we don't listen to you, jihad will take over.
I'm here. Why am I not taking over? I don't need your country and your white face. I don't need none of that. I just came here because there was no. I'm speaking to him.
Do not
He can
address
speak.
my brother as
He can speak
wife.
for himself.
He's made in the
Check out back.
We don't
Check out
follow
back
the
with the
color
holes of
code.
Quran. So you
I
think
don't
you're
have
perfect now. You wear the little black jacket.
Why do you
Huh?
have a problem?
Huh? Where's the other shirt he was wearing?
I
What's
can
the
put it on
shirt?
if you
Now
want.
you want to
I
act like
can put it-
professional.
I can put it if you
Oh,
want.
you two-faced.
I-
I don't need none of that. None of that. The reason I came here from a country because I couldn't find jobs there. So your government,
Our Christian country is better than your pagan country.
your government
Our
is so
Christian
kind
country is better
that
than your
gave me a
pagan
job
country.
and free school, free bus. Why not? I'm gonna say no to free
Yeah, so
stuff.
we're better than your pagan country. There's Christianity
I said
for
no
you.
job, no
we
job.
allow you in and help you. There's
Exactly.
Christianity
So what have I done to you?
for
How have I killed you then? Have I killed your country in peace?
Yeah, I've worked all my bloody life to pay the taxes to keep this, to get you lot here.
But you bring over country, you fucking hell. You bring all over.
Let me finish. And you are not happy that there is Quran in my
Stay him alive.
I don't
Why do you do that, lady? Why do you do that?
I am going to respond.
You can debate about Muslim stuff.
Let me respond now.
Debate is not a problem.
Do you overall,
and
do
hold
you overall, do you have a problem that people are listening?
And then when a Muslim person gets overraged about this kind of stuff, and then she being damaged last time, you're gonna say Muslim is the problem, no?
If you would be in
Hey? But we don't go killing people for wearing t-shirts.
debating
We
about-
don't go killing people
Well,
for
I
making
don't understand this
pizzas.
lady-
We don't go bombing.
Brother, did you all hear the justification? Even police is afraid to tell who he is, and police already give it up. Muslims are at speakers going to telling me that their brother it can be
The
justified
same
for
guy, the
attacking
same
these
guy
people.
who stabbed you, why is he not stabbing other preachers?
Let
Why is he not
me
stabbing
say
other
Let me say
Christian
something.
preachers?
You are
Why is he not
ashamed
stabbing them?
of-
Why is it only specific
Let me
you?
say something. Brother,
Why is there a specific angle? I don't understand.
Brother.
There's so many debaters of Christians.
so this is on the camera. Yes, Muslims are telling it wasn't Muslim who tried to kill me. But let me get to the bottom line. Muslims are having a problem that people are putting holes in the Quran.
Quranic verse.
People are putting holes in the Quran. Do you have a problem when Uthman ordered the Quran to be burned? Do you have a problem when Al-Hajjaj, listen, when Al-Hajjaj
Salahuddin.
gave people
Who
60
else?
dinars
Who else?
to tear their Quran?
You're using so many stuff. Just address the question.
Do you have a problem when Uthman ordered all the Qurans to be burned and Al-Hajjaj to pay 60 dinars for Quran to be torn down? 60 dinars. I didn't even ask anyone to give me money. So, do you have problem?
You're not
with
following
Uthman?
them.
Further war.
Similar.
War.
Like.
Further to get attacked. Further to get killed. Further to war. What does that mean? What do you mean?
Maybe your home hasn't been invaded. You haven't been killed.
When was that word created? Why have I never heard the word Hinduphobia? Why have I never heard the word Buddhist? Why have I never heard those words? Why is this? So you bring something up and then you ignore it.
So you had a problem with Uthman ordering the burning of Qurans, and also Al-Hajjaj should pay him, a Muslim man, is paying him 60 dinars to carry the Quran.
Angel, I have no knowledge of what
Would you have a problem with
small puppies died in the burn Quran. So that's stupidness. They are it's stupidness. I wouldn't even believe a single statement of what he said.
What about if Sahih Bukhari says?
Sorry?
What about if Sahih Bukhari tells us? Sahih Bukhari tells us Uthman ordered all Qurans.
It's what you made it. It's what you made it. You have your own Quran and your own hadith.
Al-Hajjaj paid 60 dinars for him to carry down the Quran.
You said.
So I'm going to go to sunnah.com.
The whole Khattab is the one.
And then see what do you think about. How does it make you feel? Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Doesn't matter, I am I am citizen in heaven. Sir, no worries, I am not afraid of my identity.
Exactly, tell us where
Already
you're from
Mr.
then. Tell us where
Policeman
you're
telling me where I
Tell us
live.
where I'm from then. I'm a black African Somalia from East Africa. You see how I told you? There's no problem. Just tell me where you're from.
He's from the country where there was a pilot all the time. Yeah? Your people.
We're just taking the tax. Why are you coming to our sea for free?
They were pilot all the time.
There you go.
So you are one of them? You are one of them.
These guys. What are you looking for anyway?
Basically you follow the step of Muhammad. He stole caravans all the time.
Sunnah.com. Okay,
And
Muslim
Somalians,
website.
they
Then go
looted
to this
the
website.
ships all the time.
Okay? Sahih Bukhari.
Are you sure he's not made of it?
Why are you telling us?
You can make something up so realistic.
I don't even have time to brush my hair. I'm not going to set up sunnah.com.
The things
Sahih Bukhari.
you disagree, tell them I'll write it down. I'll write it down and then I'll search it myself.
That's fine.
And I'll bring it with me. I know. I'll bring the whole thing with it and we can debate about it. But you can't just show me a thing that you typed yourself and say it says this.
Sir,
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. There's no point telling me this.
Sir,
I
Arabic
can't
is
believe
here.
it. No.
Arabic is here, English is here. Sahih Bukhari. Hadith 510. Okay? So you read Arabic?
Then I understood where I'm from. You don't speak Arabic?
تعالوا بالبرلمان سامي يسجل المباراة على بيض ذاك يا مجنونة ذاك يا مجنونة يا حيوان
There's no point. Because this debate will not go anywhere, even if you tell me. I won't believe the same thing.
Go from your phone. It's not coming out from my mouth. It is coming out from Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 510. And according to 510 Hadith of Sahih Bukhari, which is identified as already Sahih, it tells us, Uthman sent message to Hafsa saying, send us the manuscripts of the Quran so that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies and return the manuscripts to you. Hafsa sent it to Uthman. Uthman then ordered Sayyid bin Abdullah bin al-Azhar, Sayyid bin al-As, and Abdurrahman bin Harith bin Hisham to rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. Uthman said to the three Quraishmen, in case you disagree with Sayyid bin Abdullah in any point in the Quran, The Quran was revealed in their tongue. So in any point in the Quran, then Friday in the dialect.
This is too long.
The Quran was revealed in their tongue. They did so. Then they had written
Maybe try a very hungry cat.
many copies. Uthman turned the original manuscripts to Hafsa. Uthman sent every Muslim province.
Because your guardians, you know, they're still over. They're cheerleaders, more like. Please, can you keep your cheerleaders mouth shut?
Cheerleaders? Wish I had some pom-poms.
Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy of what they had copied and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragment manuscripts or whole series, will burn. So if Sahih Bukhari is correct and Uthman ordered Quranic materials to burn, then Hajjaj paid 60 dinars for people to carry Quran down. Why do you have a problem with the holes in the Quran? Because Sheikh Yasir Qadi and Muhammad Hijab confirmed that there are holes in the Quran.
Because the reason for that is the intention of it that you're doing is kind of Islamophobia way and in hatred from it. You understand?
What was the
Let me just finish. I haven't finished it. You finish yours. So the reason, maybe I don't know the knowledge of it, but we as a Muslim in general, when Qur'ans normally when is memorized and read for a long time, and it start to rip up and stuff, and in order cover to start to fall off, we burn them instead of putting in the bin. We burn them, it becomes ashes. That's more befitting. But you, when you burn it and when you make a hole of it, and just as a Prophet Muhammad's picture, it's hatred. You preach a hate. It's different.
Let me respond. First of all, I didn't burn the Quran yet, but I wouldn't have any problem with burning so. That's the first point.
I would say, in my opinion, this is worse. This is worse.
In here,
because you're playing with it. Burn at least it becomes dust and ash.
In here,
but either way,
in the hadith I read it to you, there is nothing implies that Uthman burned the Quran because it wore out.
Do you know the reason though? Do you know the
I read to you hadith which confirms your caliph burned the Quran.
What's the reason?
And not only that, your Muslim
the
brothers,
reason.
Abu Bakr's son, played football with the Quran.
Madam, I'm asking the reason.
Al-Hajjaj paid 60 dinars. Al-Hajjaj paid 60 dinars.
He burned the Quran.
To tear down the Quran.
You're giving credit
There are
to the
holes
people.
in the
Don't say that.
narrative.
Give us the full story. What happened? What happened? What was the reason you burned? What's the reason? The reason. What was the reason? What's the reason you recorded the Quran? Tell us.
You said
It's hatred. It's hatred. You have hate against the Muslims and the Quran. You're saying there's a reason. Tell us the reason why Umar Khattab burned the Quran.
Okay, let me tell you. Uthman burned the Quran because people were disagreeing regarding the Quran. Al-Hajjaj paid 60 dinar for people to tear down the Quran because there were different
The lady said the reason he burned the Quran because the people were there disagreed. Why is he not coming to the people? Why the Quran? Quran is still the same.
Is it?
Yeah, it's contradict ourselves.
Where is that Quran which is eaten by God? Where is that Quran? It's no more Quran.
Because the people disagree.
And I am
It's in the belly of God.
Hey, big man, please.
So,
Because the people disagree.
go catch
You
the
understand?
goat.
So,
has
you wouldn't
eaten
even read in the Quran. You wouldn't even read.
people disagreed what Uthman did.
God is a scholar now.
Muslims kicked the Quran with their own feet. If Muslims paid people 60 dinars for them to tear down the Quran,
You said that.
Muslims sunk the Quran in the Nile.
You went
So
left now. I asked you a question.
destroyed the
I asked you a
Quran.
question. Now you're just saying Muslims kicking the
So do
Quran.
you have
There's no Muslims say, do we kick the Quran? You make no sense. You make it. She just
Abu
went left.
Bakr's
I already
son.
addressed her answer, her question. She just said Muslims kicking the Quran.
Abu Bakr's son
Pull them out of fashion
kicked
tag.
the Quran.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
believe
You
you're
don't
lying.
even believe what Sahih Bukhari says.
You're
You don't
lying.
even believe what your prophet,
I
your
just
people
call
are
you
reciting.
lying against Umar Khattab about he coming to a mosque or certain place, he start burning the Quran. Yeah, exactly. And when I ask you the reason, you
How did you
contradict
come
yourself.
to lying? I
You
simply
make no
read
sense.
Sahih
No
Bukhari
sense.
to you.
All you do is-
Sahih
Sahih Bukhari, the
Hadith
liar.
510. Sahih Bukhari.
Not her Sahih Bukhari. Not her Sahih Bukhari. And yeah, exactly. Not the one. Not what she's showing me. No, I don't believe her. Yeah, give me the verse and chapter and extra, etc. And then I'll go home and I'll research it myself. But from her, with her hands.
Sorry, are you Muslim? Do you have internet on your phone? Do you have internet on your phone?
Yes.
Can you go, he's Muslim, ask him to go to sunnah.com, Sahih Bukhari 510, and then read it.
You're even giving me the website. It's the website you created. It's the website you created. Don't.
How low
You look very handsome when you lie.
No, thank you.
You look very handsome when you lie. That's the lying faces of Islam, followers of Islam.
Why do you have to offend them?
So you have
Basically, Allah is telling
no
them to
problem
use taqiyya.
for Utbah to burn the Quran.
You see, it's the story all over again.
That's right.
Burn the Quran, that's all. Umar burned the Quran. Give us the full story, please. Full story.
But the Bible teaches us to tell the truth, not to use to care in the goodness of the Bible. Yeah, but we don't say it is the written word of God.
I'm telling
To be
you.
protected.
Too many. Which one to believe? Ask which one to believe. Okay, ask which one to believe. Which one should we believe?
I don't believe any of them.
Which one?
They're all lies.
So what? Are you not Christian?
They're all the Qurans are lies.
No, I'm talking about the Quran, the Bibles.
Well, does it matter which one I believe?
All Bible has a same story that Messiah is coming. Messiah is coming, and Messiah is going to die for you. That is the same story in every Bible. In every Bible.
How many of the prophets? And
But I already told you, I don't believe whatever you have in your bag and whatever in your hand.
You don't believe this Quran?
No. Yeah, but
Not the Quran?
You need to wash yourself.
It's not the Quran?
You're not Muslim.
I am washed by the blood of Lord Jesus Christ. This is not the Quran?
the reason is
I'm asking you, do you not believe the God if you're Muslim?
so you don't let me answer.
Muslims don't believe in Quran anymore.
Yeah, go on, answer.
So, the Quran which you don't believe, can ask a question about the Quran which you don't believe.
You don't speak Arabic,
denying
so how do you
the
understand Quran?
He doesn't speak Arabic. How does he understand the Quran? He doesn't. He just told me he doesn't.
He's not a Muslim.
We understand the Quran with clear eyes. With clear eyes and an open heart.
Isn't that so beautiful? He
speak
doesn't
Arabic.
understand Arabic.
Can you
He
read the
identifies
word?
himself as a Muslim. Muslim man says, don't talk about my book, you don't know Arabic. And then when it comes
I would
to
say-
him, he speaks Arabic in his heart. You know, I walked by the beach in my dreams. I went to space in my dreams. In my dreams, I do lots of things. I think that qualifies me. To speak
Did you
about
see,
Quran.
did you see any shooting stars that Allah had thrown at the devil?
I didn't see that. I didn't see a half moon either.
What does it say though? Tell us what it says.
In Surah 3, verse 146.
You see, that's one of the signs of Islamophobia. That's one of the signs of Islamophobia. Why do you have to say that?
Don't interrupt the Quran.
Why do you have to say that about the stars and...
Because it's in your Quran.
Yeah, but you're saying that as in vain. You're saying in vain though.
Teachings
If you want to
of
speak
Islam.
about it, we'll debate about
How
it.
good,
We'll debate
how
about the
good is
star.
your
But you're
God
saying it's a joke.
when a shooting star is an asteroid going through the atmosphere, but your
That's
God
science, isn't it? Science.
says it's an arrow shot by Allah to get rid of devils? That's how much your God knows about how the world works.
So you're saying science?
He's absolutely stupid. If he believes our arrows thrown to kill the devil, and that is in your Quran, read it up and see. That is true. Now,
Your
you tell
leader's
me he
quite
knows
waiting.
everything of the
Your
world.
leader is waiting
He knows
quiet.
everything of the
Your leader
world.
is waiting.
I am not his leader. I am followers
He
of
knows
Lord Jesus
everything in the
Christ.
world.
Please,
It doesn't have to be
followers of
word. The
Lord
action
Jesus
explains it.
Christ. Fix your
My
eyes.
leader is Lord Jesus Christ,
I want to hear the Quran.
the Father and the Holy Spirit, all one of them.
verse, okay? I'm struggling to understand. How many of the prophets fought in Allah's way, and with them fought large bands of godly men, but they never lost heart if they met with disaster. So that's Surah 4, verse 146.
So what's the point?
In Allah's way, nor did they
been here all the time.
reckon in the
The verse continues from this side, no?
That's
You got a good, yeah. You got a good one yesterday.
So, how many of the prophets fought and with them large bands of godly men, but they never lost heart if they met with disasters in Allah's way, nor did they waver, nor giving in. And Allah loves those who are firm and steadfast. What is happening in the Quran? Can you tell me what we understand as already?
I have another, you tell me.
So, am I right to understand that Allah is encouraging people who are going to go to war to say like, you fight in the name of Allah, Allah will look after you, Allah will. Even if you have disasters, Allah is with you. So people before you, when you wars, Allah protect them, they will protect Allah's love towards them is firm and steadfast. So it's a verse of encouragement.
Yeah.
It's a verse of encouragement. So, are you sure? Or verse of discouragement?
It's common sense.
Okay, it's a common sense. This is a verse of encouragement. What would you say if the verse said, how many of the prophets were killed in Allah's name, and with them large bands of godly men? In that case, in the same verse as it goes on, but they never lost heart if they met with disasters in Allah's way, nor did they reckon in there, nor give in. And Allah loves those who are firm and steadfast. If the instead of fight, if verse is saying they are killed, will that be encouragement or not encouragement?
The previous one that you was reading is encouraging.
So if it is killed,
The second one,
if it is killed, it is not encouragement, correct?
say it again?
If the verse says it is killed, it is not encouragement, correct?
It's a past tense. Killed.
That's not encouragement.
Killed.
So they are dead.
No, maybe he was talking about killed, like past time when they were fighting at that time. They've been
Okay,
encouraged.
so they are dead.
They've been encouraged before they were died when they were going to war.
So they are killed. Okay, they are killed. If the verse says, how many of the prophets killed in Allah's name and then with them large bands of godly men? But if they never lost heart, if they met with disaster in Allah's way, they waken, no give in. And Allah loves those who are firm and steadfast. So, if the Vanderbilt says fight, that's a verse of encouragement. Allah is encouraging people in their go for it. Okay, I'm with you. But if it is killed, if people are dead, is that encouragement or not encouragement?
How can you encourage someone that is dead?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, anyone knows English better than me? If someone is dead, and then someone is fighting, will you encourage dead person or fighting people? Fighting people. Okay, so.
You can't encourage a dead person.
You can't encourage dead person?
He agrees with me, no?
What context are you
he objects.
So we both agreed, if the verse is killed, then that doesn't make sense.
So
okay?
you know what he was talking about. That is how we should be, not picking and choosing what.
Why can you not show me from this Quran? Why can you not show me from this? Why are you taking another Quran?
I know this is another Quran. I'm grateful that we know.
Yeah, but it's the same Quran, no?
It's not the same Quran.
Okay, so it's Quran that you what?
This is different Quran.
Oh.
I didn't write it.
I told you. I already had some kind of doubt for me.
Oh, you had a doubt that I would write the Quran?
I was suspicious from the beginning anyway. But continue.
I don't even have time to brush my hair, but yes, I did write the Quran in Arabic, and then I sold it to Saudis, and then asked them to ban it. Yeah, I
just
do
like
that.
just like the old people.
Yeah.
Just like the old people. It says in the Quran.
So in this one, the verse is killed. Instead of fought, in here it is killed. Would you, in that case, tell me this verse shouldn't be here?
I still don't understand your question.
So, you expressed in this Quran, when it is fight, it is
You
the
cannot
encouragement.
encourage a dead person.
Okay.
Okay?
So, in this Quran, Allah is encouraging the dead person. Does Allah have a problem, or what is the problem?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you want me to translate that to English again?
Well, this. Here, there's no translator.
Overall, my argument.
There's no translator.
I can find
I
the
can't
translation.
believe what comes from your mouth though. It doesn't say in here at least.
Okay. So, again,
At least if he's in a, like this one here, we can come to, some kind of conversation. But this is just no.
So because as a Muslim who is Quran is Arabic, you don't understand Arabic. Therefore,
No.
conversation
As a
doesn't
lady
move
that is not
forward.
Muslim, on top of that, Islamic phobia, you understand, cannot believe. It's a problem.
Okay, that's the problem. So here's the problem is Muslim who's supposed to be reading the Quran in Arabic, memorizing it, actually doesn't understand it, but because I am the woman who brings it up, that brings issue. But no worries, Muslims
I didn't
translate
say because of
No
the woman and
worries,
such and such.
No worries,
Don't use other arguments.
Muslims are
Don't-
translated
stop.
that to English.
You know, Khatum, instead of taking all the books out, what I can say to you is I can already translate the verse for you. Do you want me to, do you want me to translate to you?
I am asking
Do you
what
want me to
is happening
translate
in
to you?
Surah 3, verse 146, because I want to know actually what did really Allah meant at the first place.
Wallah, you know what's the shame and weirdest
Wallahi, Allah
part?
doesn't know.
You got all these books, hadith and different translations of the Quran.
Don't you find it
But
amazing?
you
I read
haven't
it more than
understand one thing right of it.
And you didn't
You
do
haven't
any-
understood one
you
thing.
didn't do anything
In your
to
right
explain it
mind,
to me.
subhanallah. In your right mind, you haven't understood one right thing of it. Everything you took it negative upon negative. And you come in here to preach to us. Subhanallah.
So I'm going to go to Surah 3, verse 146. In this book, which Muslims translated for you. So I did show you in two different Qurans. In one of them is kill, in one of them is fought. And then you said if it is kill, it wouldn't make sense. So I want to bring your attention to this one.
I never said that.
So
What did I
that
say?
you can-
What did I say?
So you can
Before you put
help
stuff
me
into
to
my mouth.
understand.
What did I say?
So this is the Surah
You see
3.
about this lady?
Surah 3.
She brings out different books. She preach out from her own words. She uses words that I said from her own mouth, and then she says I said it. And then she gonna address that as in general as Muslims.
Let's go on.
Please stop that.
So Surah 3,
Stop that, madam. Stop that.
Surah 3,
Stop that,
verse
madam. I'm not saying you're old lady, but I can tell you're all older than me. Respectfully, as a two adult, I'm almost 30 myself. We're both adults. You understand? Let's be truthful and let's be rightful. Let's not hide stuff under books and such, and using your own words to hide stuff. You understand? We're both adults. Please.
I am putting the books
Please.
in front of you.
Please, we're adults.
I am putting the books in front of you.
Yeah,
For
because
you
these
to-
books is very sensitive. It's sensitive.
Sir, I can deal with you once I finish with gentlemen. So this is Surah 3, verse 146. You've got footnote. In the footnote, it says people killed. Okay?
We already addressed that.
Quran-
Killed, yes.
So-
We cannot address people that are already dead, that went to
So
war,
why
that
in
died.
this book? Why in this Quran? Why in this Quran the word is killed?
Okay, and this one says killed, no?
Other one was fought. You read it?
No, it says killed. Open it. Bring out the thing. Where is it?
What does it say?
Fought and killed are exactly the same word.
Fought and killed are
Fought,
exactly
yes.
the same.
They fought.
Can I see?
Are you Arabic speaker?
Allahu Akbar. No, it's not even Arabic. It's English.
I will-
It's English. We can ask anyone here. Englishman. Englishman.
Is there a difference
Englishman.
between? Can you do it?
Englishman. It's
I'm
not-
asking
You want to evade the topic now. Fought and killed are exactly the same. She's saying fought and killed are two different meanings.
Kill are the same. Okay, what are you saying?
Killed are two different things.
The word fought and killed are really the same.
Because she's saying this Quran says killed. Madam, I'm telling you now.
I didn't answer to that question.
Madam, can you give me
Can I see then? I'll tell you. Can I see?
So I need to
It's not about the content. Don't put that for, madam. Don't put that for. Please, let's not bring other people in because she's going to debate the question.
turn to her.
Please, madam. Okay. All right, bless. Listen. This Quran says food, no?
Yeah.
And this one says killed.
So if someone...
That's why we said Quran is one with different translation.
So if
Different
someone...
translation of choice of words. Your own choice of words, but it's the same meaning.
So four
Same
killed are the
meaning.
same meaning.
I clapped you on the first question, and this is the second question. I clapped you again.
So
You
four
said,
and killed are the
oh
same
my
meaning.
God, Khatim.
That's okay.
Khatim.
In the 21st century,
It can be, as an Englishman, it can be two different
killed
words.
are the same thing. I am afraid to tell those British people who went to Iraq or Afghanistan or other part of the world to fight, yet they came back alive. Because according to the mind of Muslims, you are dead, you are killed. That's the mindset of Islam. But even the 21st century Muslims are telling us fought and killed are exactly the same thing.
I'm not going to fight
Tabari
You guys
is telling
more than me, you can arrest me.
They're not the
Hold
same
me down
thing.
to police car.
And it is the same
It's not scream, it's just
simply
words.
tell us,
Words.
same Muslims simply tell us, if in the verse it says kill, it won't make sense because the verse is written for the encouragement.
Food.
You cannot
And killed is exactly the same thing.
dead people.
No, they're not.
They are not.
Fought and killed. No.
I fought with Muhammad Ali, but he
Englishman.
didn't kill me.
Fought and killed. I
I fought with Muhammad Ali, but he didn't kill
He
me.
fought.
Yeah, but he didn't
Past
kill
tense.
me.
Can I contribute to what you're
So
saying?
he fought with who?
I said I fought with Muhammad Ali, but he
So
didn't
fought
kill
with
me.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali will take in.
But he didn't kill me.
Excuse me. Can
I still lost, but he didn't kill me.
I think this is a great opportunity for you to say, I'll do my homework. I apologize that
That's what I said from the beginning. I cannot never believe the things that you have in your own bag. You understand? I told you to give me the verse. Like, remember the verse about Ahzab? Ahzab about the Prophet's son and such and such. You gave me the verse and the chapter.
Sir,
I have to research myself.
you explain it to me that there is different, the verse in the context, Surah 3 verse 146. So this is, I am making my argument. Listen, then you can engage. Surah 3 verse 146, it is talking about how many prophets fought in the names of Allah, and verse is there for encouragement. And then your Muslim brother expressed, killed wouldn't make sense because you cannot encourage to kill dead people. So then I hold to this Quran. This is different Quran than this Quran, and I am trying to make sense of why this Quran, Allah is encouraging the dead people. Tabari agrees with us that actually dead people cannot be encouraged. So Tabari follows in this occasion the Hafs Quran. But at the beginning, while Muslim agreed all the points, suddenly it came to the line, actually no, they cannot trust their own eyes, as well as now in the 21st century, while it is different in Arabic, for them kill, there are two different verses in Arabic. Today, even in English, they become
at least this one,
different things.
at least this one has translation.
Who fought,
Translation. This one has translation. Why can't you show me another Quran with translation as well? This is a regular. It's a normal Quran with no translation.
I showed you the translation.
No, but you wrote stuff in your own word. In your own.
I didn't write this.
You wrote this. No, this.
I didn't write this.
No, this the pink stuff.
I didn't ask you about the pink stuff.
No, but
I
you're
asked you
translating
Arabic.
it. You're translating it. No.
I didn't write this Quran. I don't even have time to brush my hair. I am not going to write the Quran and then sell it around and then after that ask Saudi government to ban this Quran. I don't have time for that. But I must express, I am very much disappointed while Muslims are simply having problem that there are Qurans with the holes in it. They've got zero problems when their prophet, sorry, their caliph ordered Quran to be burned. Muslims kicked the Quran. Muslims paid 60 dinars for Quran to be tear down. Muslims put Quran to Nile. They sunk the Quran. And wanted to know is why I've got two different Qurans and why they are different from one another. So, another Sunday, holes in the narratives continues. Can I ask you what I'm asking?
So I'm good, you're good, no good, yeah.
You don't hear it? So I'm holding, I was asking the gentleman that I've got two different Qurans in my hands. I've got two different Qurans in my hands, and I'm trying to find out which Quran is the correct Quran. So, in this book, Surah 3 verse 146 is different. People are fighting in this book. Okay? In this Quran, people are dead in the same verse. So this Quran, from this Quran different in 1,300 places. Which Quran is the word of Allah?
Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Yes,
Let me get the answer from her and then I'll pass on you.
Well, I can only say that sometimes, like, I'm through the Bible as well.
I'm not asking the question about Bible right now.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example.
I'm trying to figure out the Quran.
Yeah. So I'm trying to say to you that often things are interpreted and written in a way, and that's what the other gentleman was trying to say to you, that often it's a case of, obviously it gets rewritten, yeah, in different forms, as in it gets written, yeah. So for a different country,
you don't believe Quran is the in Arabic is the word of Allah.
Yeah, I do.
So then my
what
question
I'm
is,
saying is between two words that you're using, the point is that the person who writes it.
No, this is Arabic.
Yeah. The person writing it in Arabic, the person writing it in English, there could be a slight in terms of the word, the use of the word. So that's why somebody was telling you fought and the result was killed. It's a misinterpretation in some cases, a slight. In this case,
Quran has been misinterpreted and then people change
I would say one word could be.
I got 1,300.
Yeah, but you just heard, huh? You do have. Again, it's
examples in here.
Happens,
And overall,
I'm sure it happens in the Bible as well, right?
This Quran,
as long as it's not a major misinterpretation, whether
so this is. I am not asking for the interpretation. I am asking for the revealed word of Allah. Which one is the revealed?
Yeah. So did you find a fundamental difference between most of the 1,000 words? Because I heard what the gentleman said. Yeah.
You follow what gentleman said?
Yeah. I'm using his example. If you give me more examples, like fought and killed, I could say, yeah.
Okay, they are the same.
Yeah.
You went to war, you are dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I am sorry. I am sorry, I can see your leg is from the bone, is being chopped off, and you are injured, you are paralyzed, you've been being looked after, you come back from the war as a hero, you fought, and you come back as a hero, you are breathing out and breathing in, but you are dead. According to your mindset, it's exactly the same.
So what I'm saying to you is if you find there will always be slight misinterpretations anyway. Bible,
I'm not asking interpretation. I am just simply saying what the Arabic says.
I'm telling you, that's the answer. I can't give you where it went wrong, but as long as
it went wrong in one point.
Yeah, if you give me 1,000,
for how many? In one point it went wrong. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you want me to have him in, or do you want to continue?
Did you read 4,000?
And how just between these two, 1,300.
Yeah, and how different were those meanings?
Which school of Islam do you follow? Which school? So under the Sunni you got Hanafi, Maliki, which Shafi, which school you follow? You are Shafi. Okay.
Chinese whispers make everything. No matter how minute they are, when they keep going and going and going, and each change makes it a big one. One little change then becomes two.
I understand, but it's possible, right? But I'm saying is you will find it. But are you going to go by 1,000? It depends how significant it is.
So I think
I can see it happen.
Let me just express. You are acknowledging that there are differences, and
I do know that
that's fine. So there are Qurans.
Well, Quran it's minor, as far as I know. It's not that heavily misinterpreted.
So Okay, you said you are Shafi. You are Shafi. You don't read Arabic, correct?
Yeah. I read Arabic. Yeah, he reads Arabic. Yeah. I don't.
Okay, you don't. I'll ask the question. You have right to not answer the question, yet give me your comments, okay? So, when you have your period once a month, okay? Does your husband, can your husband have sex with you after you have bath, or when your bleeding stops?
Well, there's again, yeah, it depends.
Depends on what?
Well, it depends on your regularity.
No, if you are bleeding once a month.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So it depends.
So does your husband wait for you to have bath before he has sex with you, or does your husband wait for your bleeding to stop but you haven't had a bath yet?
So what is your point?
So I'm asking, what is the...
Tell me your point first, and I'll tell you the answer.
No, I'm asking...
What point are you making? Tell me.
So I'm going to make the point.
Yes.
So I've got in here, I've got Surah 222, okay? Would you like to read it in Arabic for me?
In English, you mean?
Yeah. Can you read it loud for us?
Yeah.
What does the verse say?
It says when they purify themselves, yeah?
So purify themselves, what does that mean?
Yeah.
When they have the bath?
Yes.
Okay? Okay? So I'll read it for everyone to hear. They ask you, O Prophet, about the menstruation. Say, beware of its harm, so keep away and do not have intercourse with your wives during their monthly cycles until they are purified.
Yeah.
When they purify themselves, then you may approach them in their manner specified by Allah. Surely Allah loves those who always turn to Him in repentance and those who purify themselves. So according to this verse...
Yeah.
So
get the point. So what's your other point?
So according to this verse...
Yeah, I get it.
Does he have to wait for you to have shower? Or
Yes.
He has to wait for you to have shower?
Yeah.
Okay? So I've got another Quran pictures here. Since you don't know Arabic, I don't like. Quran is in my bag if you want to see. So this is another Quran called Quran Color. In this one, this is the Arabic word. It says when they become pure. Okay? It doesn't say when they purify themselves, when they become pure.
Same meaning.
That's a line.
Yeah, but let's hear.
That's a line because
it's a line.
confusing people the more.
But hear what you say. What's your
That's why I'm
point?
waiting patiently for her.
What's your point now?
So you tell me that they are exactly the same. I am disappointed to hear from you that they are exactly the same. Because in Muslim world, okay, Malik, Shafi, and Imam Ahmedi, according to them, actually you need to, sorry, you can't approach
but the two is the same.
It is not the same.
It's very much the same.
Very much.
It's the same for me. The two
Listen.
We interpret pure to be the wash. So whether you believe it or not, that's what it is.
What you're trying to go to.
Purify or to purify, it's the same.
Okay.
That's the same.
Okay, according to you, that's same. Can I ask, have you got any qualification on Islam?
No. What do you mean by that? I love Islam.
Okay, you
I'm
love
born Islam, so.
Okay, you
So
born
what do
into
you mean?
Islam.
Yeah?
So
I love these values.
I've got people who've got the qualification on Islam. They are the leaders of the certain schools. School of Shafi, Hanafi, Maliki. According to them, actually, the things you said, they are exactly the meaning very much same.
And
according to them, it is not the same. So
let me tell you what.
School of Malik, let me finish. School of Malik, Shafi, and Imam Ahmed.
Because pure
simply
to us
says,
mean exactly that.
so it might be exactly the same to you, but not according to the school of Islam. So according to you, the man's intercourse is not
Let us finish this point.
She washes.
Go on.
Exactly the same.
No, let us finish this.
don't know what else you think was to make yourself clear. What is it?
How many schools in Islam?
So why?
Sorry, how many
No,
schools in
why
Islam?
do you think this is different?
I'm going to give you
I'm
four
asking you,
schools.
why
I'm
do you
going to
think
give you
that's
the whole
different?
In Hanafi,
Why do you think that's different?
In Hanafi school, it is permissible for man to have intercourse with his wife as soon as her menses stopped. Even she didn't wash.
Yeah.
So, because of their interpretation of the Surah 222 in the different Qurans, in one of the schools,
interpretations, and we understand, like any religion, there's always a different schools, and we know that the way we salah, the way we do, is different. It's like it's interpretation, but it doesn't make us our understanding different. So, yeah, in this
actually,
case,
it does make your understanding different.
No, it doesn't.
Therefore, Muslim school, therefore, some schools says actually you have to wait until she washes herself.
Yeah.
Versus other school says no. When her bleeding stops, you can have sex. So that's absolutely up to you. If you want to kind of say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. According to Islam, that's a big deal. Therefore, that's divide Islam. And then my question, it does divide you. It does divide you.
No.
School of Hanafi, school of Shafi, school of...
It doesn't divide.
It is called jurisprudence, yeah?
Yeah.
So it makes matter easy.
Yes.
Do you understand? Let me explain. Let me explain.
Which Quran Hanafi schools follow?
There's only one Quran. In the Sunni school of thought, yeah, there's only one Quran. And let me start from the one you get. Quran verse 3, 146 that you came in. Now I already know it, yeah? You don't need to go back to it. I'll just tell you what is in it. You see? Listen, the word, no, don't worry about my name, yeah?
Okay, I'll call you Mr. Muslim. Okay?
Yeah, the word kitol, yeah, that's the word you are contesting. 3:146. Kitol actually means to kill. But in killing, yeah, it also means to fight, to kill. Do you understand? Somebody going to war, what is he going to do? When you're going to war, what are you going to do? You're going to fight. What is the end result of fighting? It's kill. So you can use a word that is going already. It's a matter of diction. Yeah, it's the choice of word that is used. It doesn't mean that the Quran is different. It's not different at all. Do you understand?
So let me respond.
Yeah.
So this Quran says kill. This Quran says fall. So what did Allah reveal at the first place?
To start with.
You say to me, Mr. Muslim, you say to me there is only one Quran.
Yeah.
Which one Allah revealed?
Now let me just say this glaringly. Yeah. This Quran and this Quran, these two Qurans that you are holding in your hands, says exactly the same thing in the Arabic text.
You are lying.
Okay, I'll show you. In the Arabic
show you.
Wait, just let me finish with you.
You look very handsome when you lie. It is the face of Muslims.
Bring it. Bring it on.
Can you read it to me letter by letter?
Kotal, bring it here. Open this here. We put it side by side. Bring it here. Open this.
Can you read this for me? You don't need to get excited. I'm not running away.
I'm not.
So you lied. I will expose your lies. No worries.
I'm not.
I am here to expose lies of Islam.
It's Kotal.
Katala.
Yeah. What's that mean?
So, you said exactly the same. Can you just tell me how this is exactly the same?
Okay. You see, this, yeah, and this. This, I don't know where you got this from. Let me see this.
Doesn't matter where I got from.
Let me see what you're using. Let me see what it is. Okay. Now, you see...
Let's just tell everyone what it is.
No.
This is the Holy Quran, meaning of the Holy Quran, Yusuf Ali translation, Arabic and English next to each other, yes?
Good. You see, let me just give you a little background. Let me give you
you said they are exactly the same. I want you to tell me why they are written differently.
Let me give you a little background. What they say. Let me give you this. Okay,
sir,
I'll tell you.
Tell me why they are exactly
this one says Qatala. What they say there? In the past.
It's in the past. Yeah. So people died in the past or they're fighting?
Listen. kutila, like in a continuous sense. Now, this is not actually acceptable. There's something that is wrong here. I agree to that. There's something that. No, listen. Now,
which one is not acceptable?
Listen.
I'm trying to understand. If you answer my question, you will help me to understand.
This Quran here, this is the original text.
This one.
Original text. Yeah? This Quran has been made to be translated. In the course of translation, in the course of writing this has been changed from what it was. This was.
Okay, let me understand.
Well, they're saying the same thing.
Let me understand.
Wait. Let me
understand.
Let me
I am not Arabic speaker, and you can say English is not my mother tongue either. So can I just tell you what I heard from you, and then you correct me so that we can understand and move forward healthier. So you are saying this Quran, because it is all full Arabic, okay? It is all full Arabic. This is the original text, okay? And then when they had this Quran, in the intention of translating Arabic to English, they changed, correct?
Okay. Let me explain.
They changed the Quran.
Can I explain myself? Yeah. Can I go on? In the Arabic language here, most times the verbs is what is used. Yeah. And the verb here is qaf, the first one, ta, and the lam. Do you understand? And it's this that is played with to make it a past tense. Like this one is qatala, qutila. In Arabic, in Islam, for example, all the words should be exactly the same. Exactly the same. This is not exactly the same. There's a doctrine.
Thank you for confirming they are not exactly the same.
This has been doctored. But you know what we do?
Sorry.
You know what we do?
This is not from
the Muslims.
I didn't get the word. But
this Quran has been doctored. But you know what the Muslims do?
I don't know what does that word mean. Edited. Okay, this Quran. This Quran has been edited.
Let me explain this finally.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm giving you time to explain. No worries. I'm just trying to understand.
Take for example, all the Quran in the world is thrown on that field and burnt. Yeah? Before the end of today, the Quran will be back. Because the Quran has been properly memorized for everybody. Do you understand? So people have done it. Let me finish.
I did tell you.
Can I finish?
English is not my mother tongue.
Can I finish this point?
Arabic is not my mother tongue. I'm just trying to understand what you said. So you are saying if today we get rid of the old Qurans because it is memorized by people, we will able to write it down. Okay. Have you memorized the Quran?
I'm not.
You haven't?
But I've memorized substantial.
Have you memorized the Quran? No. Have you memorized? You have? Okay.
You know everything. You know Quran?
Yes, it's even different things.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain to her that. You see even here, yeah?
So just a second. So just sake of the argument, forget, we didn't burn all the Qurans, okay? Here's the piece of paper for you. I want you to be kind enough and then write for me Surah 3 verse 146 as Allah revealed. Sorry?
I didn't memorize the numbers.
What did you memorize in Surah 4 verse 103 verse 146? I've got empty Musaf. If we can get rid of the old Quran, I wanted to write it down, which is the Quran. Okay, so we are just showing Muslims which verse he needs to write.
I didn't memorize the whole Quran.
Okay, so you are misguiding me when you say you memorize the Quran. So let me make my case. Let me my case. I believe you are older than me. I am saying this with all respect, okay? You have been lied to, or you are here intentionally lying to me. You've got two options in here. First of all, those are two different Arabic Qurans. It is not the Quran. So this is not the Quran. People edited when they were translating. This Quran called Hafs Quran. Majority of Muslim world is reciting this Quran, reading this Quran.
Exactly.
This Quran, listen, I haven't finished. This Quran is called Warsh Quran. So there is Quran number 1, Hafs Quran. Quran number 2, Warsh Quran. They are different from one another. And you already told me, yes, they are different. But your reasoning failed. Because you are trying to justify, actually, kill and fight is exactly the same. No,
okay.
I haven't finished. I will give you time to cry, no worries.
Okay.
So, this Quran called Warsh Quran is banned in Saudi Arabia. This Quran called Hafs Quran is banned in Algeria. Okay? So these two Qurans cannot be worked together. So I ask you simply stated, if we get rid of the old Qurans, if we burn them, you will able to produce the same Quran.
Exactly, I said
so
it.
that is a huge lie
Do you know why?
I haven't finished. That is a huge lie because which one are you going to write?
Yeah.
Are you going to write 5 or 4?
Can I answer that? Can I answer that?
I will give you time.
Can I answer it?
Please, cry.
Okay. You see, it's recognized that you have a Warsh Quran and you have.
But you said there is only one Quran. You said there is one Quran.
No.
If there is one Quran, why are you not telling me there is half Quran and Warsh Quran?
Excuse me. Warsh and half is different reading.
Sir, is the half is different from the Warsh? No.
The pronunciation is different.
Yes.
So you read Arabic?
Yeah, I'm Arabic.
You are Arabic? Tell me what is this word?
You see?
Tell me what is this word?
No, let me just finish.
This is what she's saying, yeah?
So let him first read it. What does that mean?
قتل, it means killed.
Okay, they killed. Read all the verse for me.
وكأي من نبي قتل معه ربيون كثير.
Okay, so prophets were killed? You just read it. You just read it and then told me what the word is.
You don't even mean it.
Stop crying.
You don't even mean it.
You passed me on here.
Put in your mind, this book, all of it one sentence.
Sir?
You cannot cut.
Sir,
Okay.
can you read it to me?
You cannot.
Sir, can you read it again and then tell me what it says?
وكأي من نبي قتل معه ربيون كثير فما وهنوا لما أصابهم في سبيل الله.
Okay, so what is it? What does it say?
Islam has the most lenient ways forward.
There is a lot of prophets has been killed, and some their followers with them, and they with dignity when they did with dignity. Okay.
So people were killed, prophets were killed.
Yes.
So can you read this for me?
Just let me be sure.
It's the same verse.
Just let me.
I'm gonna hold it, sir. People stole my Quran in the past.
No, I'm not gonna steal it. I'm not thief.
It's the same. Surah 3, verse 146.
146. 146.
146. Which one? Okay. وكأي من نبي قتل معه ربيون. What's the difference?
You tell me what is different. You said you are Arabic speaker.
Yeah,
read the context and then tell me what it says.
Nothing. The exact same thing.
Read it again. I love this.
وكأي من نبي قتل معه ربيون كثير فما وهنوا.
Sir, in this occasion, do you need to step in and then correct him? Because the word you read, Katala, he read it as Kutula. Are you going to step in and then confront your brother?
No, you want me to talk now.
No, you are just going to
you want me to talk now.
Listen,
Now you want me
the
to talk now.
reading is different. Like the English, listen, the English and the American, they pronounce it different, the same word. Okay, so it's exactly the same word.
Is there a difference between being alive and being dead?
What do you mean?
Is there a difference being alive and being dead?
Let's actually get this one. You said I should
Just a second.
We are talking about.
No, I am asking a very basic question.
Yes.
Is there a difference being alive and being dead?
Fight and alive is not the same.
Life and death is different. Of course.
That's different. Is there a difference between boy and girl? Is there a difference between tree and human? Yes. So there is a difference between being alive and being dead. Okay? So you go to war, you fight, you can come back with injured or not injured, yet you are breathing out an in one of them, it tells you they were killed, another one they were fighting. In the context, Allah is trying to encourage people. According to your scholars, such as Tabari says, if it says kill, that doesn't make sense because it doesn't fit the context. The thing you said, oh, it's all the same, it's all the same, meaning is the same, they are just different reading, doesn't make sense.
It's a matter of diction. You are going to war, you are going to fight and kill, or you're killed.
If you don't want to understand it, it's up to you. Are you? Yeah, if you don't want to understand,
I didn't say repeat, I said explain it to me again.
Explain to you again. It's different, like when there is slang different pronunciation of the word. Like if you are listening to my English, it's not that good English.
My English is not good either. I cannot
so-
pronounce W.
Okay,
So,
are we-
but
are we
can I
talking-
write it down?
are
So
we-
how do you write down water?
It's the same thing, but you
No,
different.
no. How do you write down the water?
I can write it, but
Yeah. Tell me how do you
There-
write it down?
no, I don't know.
There's homophone. What do you call this?
I will.
There's
So can you
homophone.
say water for me?
Water.
Water. Water. Okay.
And the American, what they said? They said water. No, they said water.
Yeah, whatever they say.
No,
Whatever they
it's
say.
not that. At the point we are talking
Whatever
about
they
now.
say, they write it the same.
It's right. It's written the same.
W-A-T-R-E.
It's written the same.
It is not written the same,
The
sir. Put your
same.
glasses on. Put your glasses on.
It's written the same.
You see, that's what I'm
Put your
saying.
glasses on. Put your glasses on.
Okay.
Okay, I would expect at this stage, this Mr. Muslim to correct you and you lie. But I know in Islam you don't expose each other.
No, why not? Why not? I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the side. Let me show you what you do.
No, what's the difference?
No, he is yours. He's Muslim. I'm sure he will believe his
Okay,
word.
go on.
Listen.
So,
This?
see the top writing thing here, and then you got small
Yeah,
letters
yeah.
inside Elif.
Yeah,
Here.
okay.
So see, that is not in here. That's one word. And then
That's what you say.
So I know Quran is so funny.
No, it is.
I know. It
No,
is
you
so
are funny. Sorry to say it.
All right.
You know why you are
See
funny?
how I am
You know
funny?
what?
I just read the
You
Quran
are
and
very
you become
funny
funny.
because it's these things. It's different because it's giving instruction how you read it. So that's why they said
A letter gives you instruction how
it's
to
not
use
letter.
it.
This one.
That
It's not
Let me do
letter.
very basics.
It's not letter.
That's what allows you to pronounce it.
It's
Those
not
things,
letter.
Araka is what allows you to pronounce it.
You know.
Can you just read the verse and then tell me what is Allah trying to do in
Give
the
it to
verse?
me. Give it to me. Give me.
No, I'm not going to give you.
I'm gonna make you understand what's the difference.
No. I want you to tell me what is the verse about. What is the verse about? So what is the
They are
verse?
talking about so many prophets has been killed with their followers and they didn't.
Madam, you can't see this one. You can't see this one. You read this one, please, madam.
This translation.
Okay, so in this
No,
one,
don't talk to me about translation.
okay, it is talking.
I'm talking about
according
Arabic.
to you, in the Hafs Quran, it is talking about the kill. Okay, so prophets are killed, and so what? What is Allah saying? What is Allah trying to make for you?
Trying to say to make if you killed, he's talking like an also prophet. If you killed, so there is so many prophets before you has been killed and their follower has been killed. So don't. It's not making you. Yeah. So
Madam, you can read this Bible. Bible.
Don't worry, you will be fine. That's what Allah is saying.
No, that's fine. So don't feel you are like.
Don't get discouraged.
They're just finding
Yeah, don't get discouraged. Don't feel there's no dignity with that.
Yeah, so Allah is encouraging people, encouraging Muhammad in this occasion by giving example from the past. In the past, prophets died, no worries. I still love you. Allah loves you.
The Old Testament, Old Testament is full of wars and all that.
So how can you discourage? How can you encourage someone who is dead? If according to you, verse is saying they are killed, how do you encourage someone who is dead?
Nobody has encouraged someone that is
He's
dead.
talking to someone's life at the time.
He's saying,
And it's to.
How did Allah encourage those people who were dead?
Allah has not encouraged those who are dead yet.
In Bible.
Many prophets.
In Bible.
How many of the prophets?
He's not encouraging the
fought?
prophet. He's
Listen.
giving us something. Come on.
Listen.
It's you know.
How many of the prophets fought and with them large bands of godly men? But if they never lose heart, if they meet with disaster in Allah's way, no did they waken, no giving in. And Allah loves those who firm and steadfast. Allah is encouraging. And I know, it was just the Quran, you don't understand the Quran.
because
listen, they're deliberately confusing people. Deliberately confusing people, misinterpreting the word that is there.
Sorry, but she's not
You're
looking
deliberately
for
do
the
this.
truth. That's it.
No, that's it. Now, unfortunately, you're deliberately confusing the truth.
What is the truth that I'm confusing?
Listen to this.
My question
Can I read it to you? Can I read and interpret it to you?
Okay, if you think word of Allah is not clear itself and you want to interpret it,
Can I read and interpret it? It says, look, it says, how many of the prophets fought and with them? Do you understand me? He's telling him, he's giving a historical account of something that happened in the past. Yeah?
Mr.
One
Muslim,
point.
Mr. Muslim,
Yes,
the
Madam
gentleman who just walked away, he said it says killed. Why are you telling me it is false?
I did explain to you before he came. Yeah?
Okay, so
I said,
why
listen to what I said before.
Why didn't you
Listen to what I said before.
confront your Muslim brother when he lied?
That's not the problem. That's not the problem. What we are concerned about in Islam is this. It's not what we interpret. Is this? Do you understand me?
I'm not asking you to give me your interpretation.
I'm
I'm
not
asking you
giving
what
my
is
interpretation.
happening.
Yeah, what is happening? I guess I'm telling you. The first thing is that, are you listening?
I'm listening.
He said the first one, yeah. How many of the prophets is giving an historical account? Yeah, that don't be discouraged. There are people before you who have experienced this thing that you had experienced. So the last.
I agree with you. Allah is encouraging.
One point. What is the last thing? What is the last thing there?
Last thing
Here.
is Allah says.
Here. What's the last thing there?
Stand firm. Allah
So
says stand firm.
when you tell somebody that, what are you doing? What are you going to tell somebody that?
So Allah is encouraging people who are going to war.
He said
stand
firm on that.
Yeah, so that makes sense to me. But the thing doesn't make sense to me, Mr. Muslim.
What doesn't make sense to me?
This Quran, when those people who encouraged in this book are dead. Allah is encouraging dead people, the ones who are not breathing. You know, when you are dead, you're dead, you're not breathing. And Allah is encouraging dead people.
Let me just explain finally. One
Would
point.
you agree with me?
1 point and I will leave you. 1 point
Would you agree with me? This book,
one last
this
thing I will
book is
leave you.
wrong.
The Quran, in Arabic, it uses verbs.
Sorry?
Verbs. V-E-R-B.
Okay.
Verbs, yeah? That's how the words are constructed. Now, the word for qatl and fight is gotten from qaf, ta, and lam. Now, this can make it, what they call araka is when you put the iPhone on top or under. Qatala is in the past. Utila is in the continuous tense. Do you understand? And why it will be different in any Quranic context, yeah, is if you are reciting using warsh or afs. Do you understand? One asks those who use warsh to recite. That's why you're saying in Morocco, not Africa. They use warsh. That's why it's different from when you go to Saudi Arabia, they use afs. Do you understand me? But let me finish.
No, so let me just understand. So, the consonantal letters are the same. When you add the vowels change from the fight to kill. Okay?
Yes.
So, but my question is, did Allah say fight or kill? What did Allah say at the first place?
What He says, yeah, that's why I said, it's a matter of diction. Fight or kill in this case, yeah, you are going to war. What are you going to do at war? The war, you're going to fight. What is going to, when you fight, what you are doing, you are killing. Fighting, somebody can say, this is fighting, just blow. And killing is with the sword. It's not in that context.
I am assuming that you are British.
Does that matter?
It does matter in this occasion. English is your mother tongue?
It's not my mother tongue, but I'm British, yeah.
Okay, so is English your mother tongue? Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Please tell me what is the difference. Last night I had a pillow fight with my husband. Okay? Are both of us alive? So last night I went to war. I came home. My leg is being chopped off from the wall. I am in hospital. Am I still alive? Last night, I went home and I am dead. I am under the ground in the graveyard. Am I alive? No. So, there is a difference between being alive and being dead. There is a big difference between being fighting and being killed. It is English speaker. In Arabic is not a magical language. I already assume that you know that because you don't even read and understand Arabic. In that not magical.
I'm just explaining to Arabic now. If I don't understand Arabic, I wouldn't be explaining to you.
Not theological language, there is a difference between fight and kill. Tabari, one of the Muslim scholars tells us, Warsh Quran got it wrong. So Tabari didn't say, oh, both of them from Allah, and then you just follow which dialect you are choosing. Tabari says, this Quran got it wrong. Because in the context, as we agreed, Allah is trying to encourage people. In the context, if they are killed, it wouldn't make sense to them. So, therefore, I guess Saudi kind of listened little bit of Tabari and then banned this Quran. As well as Algeria banned this Quran. So, how do you reconcile? How do you reconcile with after seeing 2 different Arabic Qurans, and I've got book here talking about 30 different Arabic Qurans? How do you reconcile your statement that there is only one Quran?
Now, let me give you a little background. Yeah?
Her first English is not her mother tongue, not Arabic. Whatever you explain, we don't understand. Secondly, Quran in Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, India or UK. There is one word change from Prophet Muhammad until now. And you are so liar. I'm not liar. This is the truth. That's what
no, that's not the truth.
Listen, because you don't go back.
No, but this gentleman just told me about the House and Warsh Quran. I am sorry that your brother is lying.
Listen.
So, when this Muslim man told me there is House and Warsh Quran in Morocco, he agreed to Warsh Quran. Was he lying?
What do you mean?
You see,
was he lying?
There's only one Quran.
Listen, man. There's only one Quran, man. There's only one Quran.
One word.
There's only one Quran. Let me finish this, yeah? Let me finish this.
Can you write Surah 3 verse 146 for me?
Sorry?
Surah 3 verse 146 for me.
Surah?
3 verse 146.
Listen, for what? You know what?
So if it is not changed, it should be very easy for Muslims to write down the Quranic verse. I am asking them.
Excuse me.
And then after that, I'm going to ask you Surah 57.
You are picking only one line.
It's not about one line. If it's exactly the same, tell me.
I'm not going to.
Just a moment. Before you do that, can you turn to your brother and then tell him, as you told me, in Morocco, Muslims follow Warsh Quran, in Saudi Arabia, Muslims follow House Quran. Can you tell him?
I did not say in Saudi Arabia they follow this. It's a matter of choice and preference. Do you understand me? Do you understand? Do you understand?
I just think you are so much liar.
When she don't want to listen, you can see her previous video. She said this one word, you are big liar. Because she don't know even her own religion.
That is why you are here.
She don't know anything.
That is why you are here.
That's why she said you are big liar. Only one thing.
This is what we're saying. At the end of it all, everybody is here, yeah? We're all about salvation. Do you understand me? And we continue to be going back and forth, trying to learn from one another. Because at the end of the day, yeah, one thing matters, to make paradise, to make heaven. That's what matters. Do you understand me? Listen.
I don't disagree with you on that.
So let me finish.
Let me step in because that's very important. So the reason I am talking about the different Arabic Qurans, because yes, I agree, salvation is meta. I agree. Once we stop breathing, once we are under the grave, it is meta where we are going to end up, who we are going to end up. Therefore, I am asking the question. So, according to Islamic tradition, on the Day of Judgment, Quran is going to become a pale man and intercede for those who recited it. If you are reciting this Quran, and this Quran is identified by Tabari for Surah 3 verse 146 is a mistake, then your intercession is in danger. So that's the first point. But I am not in this world that when I die, I get the paradise. I am in this world to enjoy my triune God. I am in this world longing to go home to my God. So even our understanding of paradise is very much disturbing. So word salvation is belong to Christians. It is belong to Christian scripture. The word salvation is belong to Christians and belong to Christian scripture. There is no word salvation in Islam. In Islam, it is all about success.
No.
Let me finish. In Islam, It is all about success. Salvation is gift from Son of God only through cross of Christ.
Forgetting the first point.
Versus success in Islam is all about what you are going to do. What are the things you can do to get to Islamic paradise? Versus Christian faith is unique. Lord Jesus Christ done it all. It is not what I am going to do. Christ alone done it all. Therefore, when I die, it is not about the paradise I am looking for. I am looking for to having fellowship with my God. God is going to dwell with his people. I am not hunting for the virgins.
Okay.
No, make your case.
Okay. Unfortunately, the first point I wanted to make, I forgot.
That was all. The first point was about how Quran is going to become a criticism. Therefore, it is important which Quran is the correct one. That was the first point.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. The one is second point. Now, you see, the recitation of the Quran is not even 2. It's 7.
Not 7.
7.
Not 7.
Listen to me, I'm telling you, you're not a Muslim. You're not studying.
My name is Hagur. It's not 7. 7 was chosen by who? Ibn Mujahid. And then after that, it was 10 and then 14. Why do you follow 7? What did Allah give it to you? Allah give it to you 7 or 14?
Allah did not give anybody 7 Quran. Do you understand? Allah did not give anybody 7, 10 Quran. Only one Quran was revealed. Do you understand? Only one Quran.
So you are telling me only one Quran?
Where are you from?
Allah didn't give you 7
Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey. You're from Turkey.
Now you see, if you see Arabic, yeah, Arabic, yeah. The Arabic that is spoken in Yemen, yeah? There's the Yemeni Arabic. There's the Syrian Arabic. There's this Egyptian Arabic. Take these 3. Only these 3. Only these 3. Are you listening? Are you listening? If you take only these 3 Arabic, a Yemeni, if you have a Yemeni here, a Syrian here, an Egyptian here, if they speak here, saying the same thing, they are going to use they are going to say one word in 3 different ways. Do you understand? Same Arabic, but a Yemeni, a Syrian, because those are classical Arabic. Do you understand me? So, when the Quran was revealed, yeah, when it was revealed, and what they call in the process of compilation, when it was compiled, yeah, there was people that were reciting the Quran in different languages, because in Medina, where it was revealed and finalized, yeah, people from different aspects, Latina, our background is Nigerian, for example. You are Turkish, you know where you are from. You understand? When we speak English, our background has an influence on the English we speak. Do you understand? Has an influence on the English we speak. So there was a compilation, yeah, that by people that were there when the Prophet revealed the Quran. Yeah? There were people that were with the Prophet when the Quran was revealed. Do you understand me? So, and the compilation of the Quran was well after the Prophet Islam died. Yeah? So there was a committee that came together. Yeah? And people from Yemen and all these other dialects came. Yeah? So they were reciting the Quran. As it was recited there, they were certified or classified that this is good. This is good. Today, that's why we have Quranic competitions. Wait, I'm going to follow that response, yeah? If you go and watch, go to YouTube and say you want to watch Quranic competitions, they will tell you what do you want to use? Warsh or apps. Do you understand? It's allowed to use this, I don't know, maybe intonation. Do you understand? Intonation.
So let me step in. So first of all, there are lots of holes in the stories you are telling me. Let me step in and then correct. First of all, you express. First of all, you express. First of all, you express that Quran is revealed to Muhammad in one way.
I want to take that.
I'm going to correct you.
You cannot correct me.
I'm going to correct you.
You cannot correct
me. Be humble.
No.
If I said wrong, I will be stand corrected as well.
No,
so now let's.
It's not right. When we are having a debate, you say, I want to correct you. You bring your point of view, I will want to.
Now you must hear her.
I did not say I want to correct you.
I'm going to correct you. That's not. No, Mr. Muslim. You are not better than Muhammad, are you? No. So Muhammad was okay when people corrected him. Muhammad was okay when people reminded him when he forgot his prayers. So therefore be humble and then thank him for correcting him. Now, let me respond.
Because when you are correct, that means you know better.
I know better.
And there's no
because I'm going to give you
certification.
Islamic sources.
Did you study Islam?
I'm going to give you
Did you study Islam?
I'm studying Islam.
Did you study Islam?
I'm studying Islam still.
Did you study Islam?
I don't need to have a qualification to speak and ask questions on Islam.
Why you go to a doctor?
There is no need for it right now. So, first of all, you expressed that Quran is revealed to Muhammad in one way. Okay? Yet, Muhammad himself says Quran is revealed to him in 7 hours. So, my first question to you is, was Muhammad lying when he said Quran is revealed to him in 7 hours while you say it's in one way? Please correct me. This is your opportunity.
Okay,
no, I will respond.
Before I say
I am taking that as Muhammad was wrong. You are better than Muhammad. When Muhammad said Quran revealed to him in 7 different hours, he was lying. So that's what. Second point is, so when Muhammad died, he didn't leave Quran behind himself. There was no Quran. So earlier you expressed, today, if you burn all the Qurans, we will compile what we have in our minds. But that wouldn't fall with the following examples. So, can you be kind enough, and then I'll give you my thought, where it is talking about adult man can suck the breast of woman 10 times. Okay, I wanted to find that from the Quran for him. Adult man can suck the breast of woman for 10 times for them to be mahram. Okay, so when it is your turn, I will wait for that. That's my first point. It's not in the Quran. So you said people were taking from Muhammad what they heard, and today so if you are telling me today that is not in the Quran, simply you are bringing contradictions. Because according to Umar, according to Aisha, those verses revealed by Allah, supposed to be part of the Quran. Why the Quran? If there is only one Quran, that's first point. My second point is,
to the Shia.
My second point.
To the Shia that are trying to discredit Aisha. That's one of the points they bring into
Okay, so is it in Shia Quran?
Yeah, it's not in Shia Quran. That point there.
So let me understand. So you are telling me, according to Shia tradition, they believe that those verses, adult breast suckling verses, revealed. And
I want you to clarify that.
I just want to bring you first of all.
I'm sure you know the difference between Hadith and Quran. I'm sure you know the difference between Hadith and Quran.
So it's supposed to be in the Quran.
Do you know the difference between Hadith and Quran?
I know what is the difference between Hadith and Quran. Quran is the revealed word of Allah, dot by dot, what is in the so-called book. Okay, that's the revealed word of Allah versus Hadith are the customs of Allah. Okay, so here is example for you.
Why should Jews be saying
Sahih Muslim. If you go home and then pick up the Sahih Muslim, in volume 8, you will find 4 pages just talking about this. How those verses are revealed, how it was practiced. This is only adult breast suckling. It is here, and then in Sahih Muslim, volume 8, Hadith 3400. I'm going to focus on this one. In this one, it is talking about adult breast suckling is for people who is a beard. Gentleman is a beard. So it is for him to come to your house, okay, sit with your wife, he needs to suck breast of your wife 10 times. And then out of generosity, out of kindness, Allah makes that to 5 times. And then after that, it is in Islam. It is in Sahih Muslim. I'm sorry that you don't follow Sahih Muslim. It is in Sahih Muslim, volume 8. Hadith number starts from 3,424 to 3,428. And the reason it is not in the Quran, because
Shamsi, you're running away. Shamsi, you're running away.
People watch the whole football video.
Shamsi, answer me this question. Shamsi, does Allah own everything?
Close to the size of the Muslim.
Shamsi, over here. Where you going? That's not what who said be obedient to his state? Be obedient to his state.
Answer my question.
Paul, was he wrong?
Does Allah own
Wait.
No. You walked away from that debate. You walked away from that.
Paul said, what's it wrong? Paul said, be obedient to your slave master. To your slave master.
Shamsi, does Allah own everything?
He's scared.
Shamsi, does Allah own everything? Answer my question, Shamsi. God bless you, Shamsi. Look after yourself, Shamsi. Running again. You see, they can't even make their mind up. He says I'm right wing, he says I'm liberal. They can't even make their mind up. Shamsi is a bag of wind. He shouts and he blusters, but when challenged to debate, as you can see, he runs away. He dare not answer the question. My simple question to Shamsi is, does Allah own everything? Why are Muslims trying to that? Answer the question. Does Allah own everything? Does Allah own everything? In the Bible, he said, this obedience. Yeah, I know, it's passed on fire. That is a New Testament. He's scared of the Bible. He shares the Bible. He embodies the Bible. Does Allah own everything?
I read that.
You get your answer, though. You get your answer. It's not the answer you want to hear, but you're waiting for. Look at their rude behavior. Look at their rude behavior. Look at their rude behavior. Allah Subhanahu. Does Allah own everything? Okay, yes. All right. You're willing to have a conversation? The answer is yes. Brilliant. Can a person inherit what they own? Can a person inherit what they already own? Wait, I'm so sorry. Shamsi, help me! Shamsi, help me!
So Crusaders.
Answer the question.
Here's how you answer it.
Answer the question.
Can I answer on your behalf and then tell me if you disagree? Crusaders inherited the Christian land.
Answer the question.
That they killed and
You
murdered.
said Allah owns everything. Can a person inherit everything they own?
That's your answer. That's his answer, yeah?
I'm asking you.
Killed Christians.
See, they're frightened to answer the question.
Come, Mohammed, let's go, bro. He wants answers from different people who within their remit is not answerable.
Why are you all shouting?
There you go.
Why can't you have a conversation?
Because you can't hear. Your ears are blocked.
Why can't you have a conversation?
We are. Your ears are blocked.
Why are you shouting?
Why are you shouting when it's your time to shout?
Why are you shouting?
You love to shout when it's your turn to
Why are you
shout.
shouting?
You love to shout when it's
Now
your turn
just
to shout.
notice the
You
behaviour.
like to shout when it's your turn to shout.
Notice the behaviour.
Let's get.
Notice the bad manners.
Let's see the decibel levels of the microphone attached.
So my question is,
And you'll get an answer, but you might not like it.
You're being rude to him.
I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what your opinion is.
Does Allah own
And how you love to pluck words out of people's mouths.
No. I didn't say no. I said own.
Other way around.
Maliki. He owns everything. He owns everything. Okay. Can a person? Brilliant. He owns everything. Agreed. What's your problem? No, I'm talking to you. Listen. Can a person inherit what they own?
Tell him, finish your
Right.
conclusion and go
Can a
home.
person inherit what they own?
Finish your conclusion and go home.
Can a person inherit
What they
own?
So finish your conclusion and go home.
Are you listening? Can a person inherit what
like
they
the
own?
sun? Are you glistening
No.
like the sun?
Inherit means, I'll tell you what
Worship
inherit means.
the sun.
I'll tell
Do
you
you
what inherit
worship
means.
the sun? Do you
Inherit
worship
means
the sun?
that, like your father, when he
worship
dies,
the sun?
he will give you his house.
Oh wait, does the father die? Ask him, does the father die?
Yeah, he's gone, and then he gives you his house.
He died.
He
has another life.
And he,
Jesus
no, no,
died?
listen,
He has
listen.
got a barzakh life.
Yes,
So who
listen,
inherits what?
listen. So inherit means when your father dies, he gives you your home. Like his home, he goes to you because you
Ask him,
inherit it.
the father,
Do you understand the word
Allah,
inherit?
you know they call Allah the father.
understand?
Okay, you know they call Allah the father.
Do you
Ask
understand?
him.
Now,
did the
ladies and
father-
gentlemen,
did the father die?
can you answer the
Did the
question?
father die? Did the father die? Did the son and the father the same?
Can you answer the question?
So who inherits the father's?
Can you answer the question?
Ask it.
So the
Ask
question
it.
is, does
There's your
Allah own
answer.
everything?
You got your answer. You didn't get it for the
Does
mic,
Allah
and you
own
answered
everything?
this out.
Right. So he answered yes. So he
Finish your
answered yes.
conclusion and go home.
Can a person
Yeah, he needs to go.
inherit
He's got
what he
better
owns?
things to do. He said he needs to go. He doesn't have time to answer
Can a
the
person
question.
inherit something he already owns?
There
That
you go.
makes no sense.
No, Bob makes no sense. You're right. Bob
So,
makes no sense.
listen,
Bob
ladies and
makes
gentlemen.
no sense.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
You will know that.
Right, right. Right, so, listen, are you listening? I'm going to. No. You had your chance. You had your chance. You had your chance. I'm talking to him. You had your chance. So we agree that Allah is called the owner of everything, and we agree that it makes no sense for someone to inherit what he already owns. One of the 99 names of Allah is the inheritor. How can Allah inherit what he already owns?
Ask him now. Does the father die?
No, agreed. This makes no sense. Islam makes no sense. Islam makes no sense.
Bob is not Islam, and yes, he doesn't make any sense.
He's going.
He's got to go. He doesn't have time. Thank you.
Yeah, we like that.
So, that's fine. The fact that you can speak English so well is a compliment.
I give you information about Muslims.
Okay. No. I want to ask you a question. You agree. Now, we just caught on camera a Muslim saying it doesn't make any sense that Allah is called Al-Maliki, the owner of everything, the sovereignty, and one of his other names is the inheritor. How can someone inherit what they already own?
I don't understand, bro.
Islam makes no sense. Can you answer this question, sir? What do you mean? I can't. Look, if you can't understand, I can't help you. If you don't understand, I can't help you. Sir, I'm guessing that you're a Muslim.
Ask him what the word is in Arabic.
Do you want to know what the word is in Arabic? I'll pull it up for you. Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. So the Muslim, I'm guessing you're a Muslim, brother. Are you? Okay, he doesn't want to say whether he's a Muslim or not.
Stay down.
In speakers' code of language, that usually means they are. Remember, silence means consent.
What a
Wow, savage.
So, let me just pull up the name. Okay? So in the Quran, Allah is described as Al-Warith. Al-Warith means inheritor. If Allah owns everything, how can he inherit what he already owns? The 99 names of Allah are self-contradictory. Would you like to reply? He's checking it out. Look, reading from wahiduddin.net, an Islamic website. Al-Warith, the inheritor, the supreme heir. Tell me something that Allah can inherit. Oh wait, he's back. He's back.
We like it.
So, now you agreed with me earlier, it makes no sense for someone to inherit when he owns it. We're agreed that makes no sense. Allah is called Al-Warith in the Quran, the inheritor, the supreme heir. How can Allah inherit something he owns?
Let's say
you. And you're saying, and you're like, God in his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you die,
okay.
Yes or no?
Does Allah own them?
Well, when you're here right now, I mean, not really. I mean, you're taken away.
So you're saying that there are things that Allah doesn't own.
No, as in, if you wanted to, you can't see that they are yours. You let me know.
Does Allah own my soul?
If you want to take it away and own it, yes, you can.
Does he own it right now? Does he own it right now? So what you're saying is, who owns my soul right now? So who owns my soul right now? Who owns my soul right now? Right, now listen to that. So to get out of the contradiction, the contradiction of Allah being the owner of all things and the inheritor of all things, to get out of the contradiction, he has posited the argument that at this moment in time, I own my own soul.
If you wanted to...
Wait, one second. Let me reply to your argument. I mean, you not mean you can have conversation. Now, the first problem with that is I think that he's actually making something up on the spot, and that most Muslims would say that Allah does own my soul. The second problem with that is that it's shirk, what he just said. Because he's saying that I possess a quality of Allah. I own my soul. That's shirk. And that's shirk. Because I am sharing in ownership. Because I own my soul and Allah owns my soul. Right. You're welcome. So, my point to you is, as you agreed earlier.
I'm trying to say,
yes.
If Allah wanted to own your soul,
because he owns it.
No, if you wanted to, you could. Right now it's yours.
Right.
If you wanted to own it, you could.
So there's joint. So I now have. One second. So I have now a quality that belongs to Allah. Because I own my soul.
You own your own soul.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could own it right now.
Right. So Allah. Now, firstly, I would like you to show me anywhere. Okay, it's an opinion. It's really important, and that's fine. That's fine. It's really important because I'm pretty confident that when you dig into Islam, when you dig into Islam, Islamic teaching is that Allah owns everything. He believed that when I said it. When I asked him, he said Allah owns everything. When I asked you, you said Allah owns everything. So when the instinctive answer. So that when you said, when I asked you, does Allah own everything? What you should have said is Allah owns everything but your soul. Are you willing to say that? Why not? No, does he own it right now? Right, so technically he does. You're jumping around, bro. Does he own it or not? Right. But what you're talking, right, yes, it's still yours. But hold on one second. The analogy is a false one. I'll explain. Because when you give your phone to him, it always remains yours, does it not? There's never a time when it isn't yours. No, hold on. Who could steal from Allah? No one can steal from Allah. So my point is, your analogies. No. He said that Allah doesn't own my soul. There you go. Allah owns everything. So how can he inherit? How can he inherit then? What is an inheritor? What is an inheritor? Yeah, an inheritor is someone who takes possession of something that previously wasn't theirs. Agreed? Yes, right. So Allah, no, I'm sorry, but your translators describe Allah as the supreme inheritor. Oh, I'll put it up. Okay. So the fact, right, but the point is, you can't on one hand say that Allah owns everything, and then in the next breath say that Allah doesn't own my soul. That's what you're saying. Does he own it right now?
Right now he doesn't. Wait.
But I thought you said Allah owns everything.
I'm trying to see. You have your soul now. Yes.
Yes.
And I wanted to only you could take your soul now. It's basically just only.
Right. You've got a logical contradiction. You cannot uphold one statement that contradicts another statement. If you say Allah owns everything, that includes my soul. If you then in the next breath say you own your soul, you're saying Allah doesn't own my soul.
You own your soul now.
So Allah doesn't own my soul. So Allah doesn't own everything.
You own your soul now.
So Allah doesn't own everything.
Bro, I don't understand that.
Go on, sorry.
You own
Get excited.
your soul now. You own your soul now.
Yeah.
If Allah wanted to, you could take that soul.
Yes, you can take possession. Yeah. Right. But the statement that you are making is self-contradictory because Islam is self-contradictory. You're saying. You're saying. Wait. Let's talk. You're saying that Allah is Al-Maliki. Al-Maliki means the owner of everything. Right? 1 second. Al-Malik. There you go. Of course I'm not lying. Of course I'm not lying. Right? But in the next breath, you're saying that in the next breath, you're contradicting that statement by saying that Allah does not own right now. Well, the camera will demonstrate that you did. Did you hear him say that? Did you hear him say that? Everyone else seems to think you said that. Yeah, carry on, bro. You just got to put with the hecklers. You just got to put with them.
You own your soul now.
So Allah doesn't own my soul. Does Allah own my soul right now? Yes, He does. Yes, He does. Right. No. Does He? I'm not asking if He could. Does He own my soul?
You have your soul now. Allah will take it away.
Does Allah own my soul this very second? Yes.
You wanted to take it away.
No. You're changing the question.
What have I said?
Yeah, I'll explain. Firstly, the question is not whether Allah could own my soul. I never asked you that. I asked you, as of this very second, as we speak, does Allah own my soul? That is not the question. The why, because I'm the one asking the question. And the question that I'm asking, is who is the owner, the sovereign of my soul this very moment? Is it me or is it Allah? Right, so Allah owns my soul now. How can He inherit it then?
You die and your soul will pass.
But He already owns it, so how can He inherit it?
Your soul's in me right now. Yes or no?
Yes, it is a contradiction. You're absolutely right. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. Right. Do you agree Allah is called Al-Warith?
There is nothing up there.
Al-Warith. Yes. And is that the inheritance?
You go down there.
Huh?
You go down there.
Yeah, shit. They're just quiet. Wait, go down there. Huh?
Why did you tell the police about me? You're a snitch. You told the police that I stabbed you. Oh, no, paedophiles back. Yes, you told the police. Yes, you did.
In the presence
I don't like that. No, I'm not. Why you told the police about it? You're a snitch. You're a shakedown snitch. You're a scaredy cat. It's going to stab me. Oh, let me go to the police. After you started, you couldn't finish it. You called the police, you snitch. Snitch. Yes, you did. They told me. No, you're lying. You're a liar. You're a shakedown.
You can call me whatever you want.
Everybody rejects. So we
Police say that, what is going on?
Because I'm not you.
So you think going to police and expressing concern is sinful?
Sorry, now you just admit that you called the police. You just admit. See, the Satan never wins. You're just a liar. You're a liar. You can't even look me in the eyes and say that. Oh, I didn't. You're Satan. Huh? Are you nuts? You're nuts. You know I'm 15 years old. Everything's touched.
doing a 14. That's your paedophile. You're a paedophile. You are not. How many kids have you touched?
When we go
If I find out you touched people.
Son of man.
I know you have.
Here is the judgment.
Please, wrap up. Wrap up.
Omnipresent, no birth, no death, nothing. God. So God says he's going to send his son. His son is eternal kingdom. Let's find out what eternal kingdom.
No, you are not. Say you saw him on that.
Because Muhammad was a white man. Muhammad was a white man, so every white man you see, you think they are representing Muhammad.
You're scared,
Not a new covenant.
You think Jesus died for sins, that's why you're
Not a new covenant. Islam,
When I see
new
her.
covenant.
Imagine the canvas. And that canvas is blank.
Do not feed this disease!
But he kept coming near me today. So I tried to follow him to point out to the police that this guy, he's still following me around.
What are you lying for? You've been causing
Suck
problems.
your mother, man.
Suck your mother. Suck your mother.
Aisha, man.
You see? You see?
You see? No matter where we go, they're gonna follow us. They want me. They want to follow me so much.
Suck your mother, yeah? Bye bye. Suck your mother. Suck mother. See you later. Don't come back, you hoe. Don't come back, you fucking Iranian hoe. Iranian hoe.
Sunni versus Shiite in the park.
Look at them following me. What's stopping them? What's troubling me?
They always get rid of one person. It's one person versus many though. It's Sunni versus Shiite at Speaker's Corner. He's Shiite and the other Muslims are Sunnis. So they disagree over that.
He's a coward. He's not telling them shit. He's not telling them shit. There's 200 of them.
That's right, because there's loads of them and only one of them, that's why he's getting chucked out.
Thank you. Right now. Just ignore him. Just ignore him.
300 years later, he decided to reconcile this new Jesus at the Council of Nicaea. To be specific, in the year 354, it was Constantine that reconciled Paul's Jesus from the historical Jesus.
Sunni versus Shiite in the park.
Bless you, Bismarck.
Sorry.
How many?
Islam orders you to fight in the name of Allah. So
Allah
that
one.
Yeah.
Allah one. That's all. Allah.
Yeah, excuse me. Jesus.
how can Allah is what?
Yeah, wait. Let me. In Islam.
Tell me what is good about Islam.
Wait. Let me translate because I don't know how to talk in London, but I want to say for you something.
I told a man saw a fish. I'm an artist. I draw on the street. I taught 2 men from Kuwait to draw. They
Do you read
my
Arabic?
drawing. They said, "Oh, we like your drawing." I said,
So do you read Arabic?
And they said, "No."
Wait, I want to talk to you.
Do you read Arabic?
I want to talk to you. No, not Arabic.
2 guys from Kuwait, they're about like 35. Anyway, when he got his fish, he said, he took a photograph. He said, I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is that?
Jesus is not.
Jesus is a prophet who is not God and is not the Son of God.
Who tells you that?
In Quran. Do you read it? You know.
Where? I read the Quran.
Do you read it? Are you sure about it?
Can anyone create beside God?
God no.
No.
God is one. Yeah.
Can I create?
No, you can't create.
I can't create.
Yeah.
Only God creates.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I know what you are hiding in your home?
Nothing.
No. Can I know what your grandfather was putting in the kitchen?
No. And you don't know.
So I don't know. Why? Because I'm not God. I'm not all-knowing. Allah is rubbish. I'll come to that. No worries. So I wouldn't know that because those things are only God knows.
Yeah.
Okay? So turn on your Quran. Turn on your Quran.
What?
Open your Quran.
No, the Quran. I'm very small. Yes. I don't read all the Quran.
You look about 12, none of
You
you
don't
are.
read the Quran, but you are.
But
you
I
are
know,
very
but I
much
know.
know how to attack the Lord Jesus
No,
Christ.
I know.
They do attack, man. I'll deal with you.
Don't attack.
They do.
Boys, you have your parents with you.
Surah 5, Surah 5, verse 110.
Yeah.
When Allah will say, "Oh Jesus, son of Mary, remember my favor upon you and your mother when I supported you with a pure spirit." You spoke to the people in cradle and in maturity, and when I taught you writing and wisdom and the Torah and the gospel. When you design from a clay, like the form of
Excuse me, don't understand. You want to anybody to translate?
What happened to your phone? You were very brave and
Yeah, can I say something? Can I say
So,
something?
can you tell me when you said no one can create only Allah?
Yeah.
Why Jesus is creating bird according to your Quran?
Yeah, now you say Jesus is Son of God, yeah?
Why? Listen my question.
Can I?
Why does Jesus create?
Jesus not create.
According to Quran, Jesus creates a bird.
Is that
Quran
Quran?
is lying?
Creates a bird. He just blew into it and it flew by the
Jesus created
name
bird,
of
Surah
the one
5.
Allah, yeah?
No, one Allah
gave him,
failed.
Allah gave him,
Allah
Allah gave him
failed.
that ability. Allah gave him that ability.
No.
As like sort of a miracle, miracles. Huh? What do you mean?
Is that Quran?
That's the Quran.
What, really?
Wait. Can I see it?
I'm not got that, man.
No, I don't know. I don't understand. You get a random book and say that's Quran.
And then not the Quran? That's okay.
We all
If you think
do
this
that
is
here.
rubbish, if you think this is rubbish, it's absolutely fine. Surah 5, verse 110 is rubbish.
He creates, yeah? Carry on, man. I'll find it. Just carry on, man.
You say this is Quran, yeah? Yes,
Excuse me.
Can you come to me when you have your mother or your father with you? I think that will be wiser.
You are kafir. You are تطلعين النار.
So what?
There you go, so what?
Can't hear that. She's going down. What did you say is in the Quran or not?
أكرههم فهم شيء جاي الكتاب محرف زي تقول من
I'm glad they got to find something in their phone. They can't even get hold of a Quran in their phone. That's what I thought, yeah. They know it off by heart. Why look in their phone?
They have it with you. Hey, they have it with you. The Quran in English with you. This is the verse number 102. Okay. Basically it says like, when Allah says to Jesus the son of Mary, you know what?
Sir, did Jesus created the bird?
Jesus created the bird. You know what? He
Did
said,
Jesus create
no,
the bird?
when you shape out of
Allah is
clay,
lying?
where did Allah
Excuse me, excuse me.
where?
Excuse me.
Yes, where? Show me where.
Excuse me.
Surah 5 verse
You know what?
110.
He created. Surah 5, he shaped, out of clay, a bird, then he blew into it, and Allah said, by my permission, by my leave, what? It became what?
Did Jesus
A
create the
living
bird?
bird.
Did Jesus create the
Excuse me,
bird?
excuse me,
Out
excuse
of
me.
clay only.
So Jesus created the bird out of clay. With whose breath did Jesus blow into the bird?
Yeah, by the permission of Allah.
Whose breath?
Huh?
Whose breath
What?
that Jesus put on the bird?
That took place by the permission of Allah.
Listen my question.
Yes, that was a miracle.
Whose breath Jesus put into the bird?
His own breath.
So Jesus put his own breath into the clay and the bird become alive.
But read it all of it. What it says?
Jesus
By the permission of Allah. He said, Allah said, by my permission.
Who is power?
Allah said, by my permission.
Who
By
is
the permission
power?
of Allah.
Listen my question.
Yeah.
Who is power?
The power of Allah. He took that.
So is that say power or does it say permission?
No, permission. It says
So
permission.
okay?
Yeah.
This gentleman has power to punch me. He's strong man. He has power to punch me. He doesn't have permission to punch me. Jesus has power in his breath to give life to the bird. It doesn't matter if your Allah, so-called Allah, give permission or not. Jesus had the power to create. So Jesus, I am sorry to tell you, Mr. Muslim, Jesus is much fast creator. Jesus is much faster creator than Allah.
Yeah, but where is Jesus now?
Jesus is in Allah. According to you, according to me, Jesus is secret and of the Father.
No, Jesus is not now.
Where is Jesus?
Where is he right now?
According to you, he's with Allah.
Basically, okay, who's been administering the affairs of the whole universe?
It doesn't. I don't understand the question.
You see that the universe, is being managed, controlled, influenced by whom right now? Right now, at this very moment.
So what is that? It has to do with Jesus to be creator.
You need to understand. Listen, I'll tell you something here. Back in the days, Moses, asked Allah, do you sleep? You know what he told him? All right, take 2 glass bottles with you, throughout night, remain there, make sure that you don't drop them, So basically, you know what? He felt a bit of slumber on him. Then he resisted that, put it back. Towards the end, what happened? He fell asleep. They dropped, broken, You know what he said to him? Allah said to him, you see, if I sleep, you see the skies, the heavens, they would fall over earth. Did you get that? Did you get the point now? Did you get the point? How is it?
So let me.
So who is controlling the universe? Why is it so balanced? Why is it so balanced?
Let me ask my question again. So
Why are not we swallowed by
according
the
to
sun?
Surah 5, verse 110, which you also read it.
According to what?
Which you also read it. Jesus is the creator. Jesus creates the bird with his
By
breath.
permission of Allah.
Jesus has the power.
Surah Al-Ma'idah, the verse number 110.
Jesus has the power to create the bird. Jesus has the power to create the bird. Are you agreeing with me on that?
Not power. I'll tell you what, I can make a shape of a bird out of clay right now. But listen, if I blew with it, would it become really flying bird?
Is your breath powerful enough to give life?
My breath? Absolutely no.
No, so not.
Yeah.
For you not.
Yeah.
But
But that was a
Jesus'
miracle. That was a miracle
breath
from Allah.
is powerful enough. His breath is powerful enough to give life to the bird.
Yeah, but listen, remember something. Then
I am not asking about did anyone
You
give
need to
him
understand
permission or
something.
not.
There's just one thing left in this.
Jesus has the
Everything
power to give life to
She doesn't know how to
clay
understand
church.
Arabic.
So that's the first one.
Arabic is my
Having
first language,
power-
man.
Having power and having permission are two different things. He has a power.
Alright, you
He
told me
has
that
a
already.
power.
Again,
Country
you're being
doesn't
repetitive.
have the permission to do so.
Just one thing left right now, yeah? Well done.
Allah
I will agree with you on everything, but there's just one thing left, yeah? How on earth Jesus, yeah? Let those, yeah? Those outlaws assassinate him. The outlaws. Those who killed Jesus, yeah? Crucified outlaws. I call them outlaws, yeah? Outcasts, call them whatever you want, yeah? But how on earth, if you have the power to what? To revive, revitalize the dead out of the graves, or what? Blew into birds, make them, or what? A lot of things, yeah? Why? How on earth he couldn't defend himself, though? Why did he sacrifice himself?
Yeah. Honestly, first of all, that's a very good question. And secondly, thank you very much for bringing the word sacrifice. So, Jesus Christ has power to give life. Jesus Christ is powerful with His word. Okay, whole universe holds together. And
He wouldn't
same
defend
Jesus.
himself.
I listen to you. Listen now. Listen.
Not Jesus, God.
That's me.
His word is even so powerful. With the breath of Lord Jesus Christ, everything comes into being. And it is the same Jesus Christ steps into this broken world to die for those sinners. Purpose of Lord Jesus Christ to come into this world so that people like me who are sinners, people like you who are sinners, have a chance to know who God is. Purpose of Lord Jesus Christ to step into the world so that
Sorry.
in the bosom of the Father. Very purpose Jesus comes to die, not so that he comes to survive. He didn't come as a king, he didn't come as a warrior, he came as a vulnerable baby, lived among us and gave on the cross himself for us.
Alright, let me regress a bit.
Sacrificial love,
Your words-
thank you for putting that together.
Your words are completely devoid of sense.
Let me ask you my question. Let me
shut
ask you my question.
Reason.
Let me ask you my question. What did Allah do for you?
What do you mean, Allah?
What did Allah do for you?
Specifically, generally, what is it? There's a lot of things.
God of Bible gave himself for me. God of Bible, Father, loved me enough to send his son. His son loved me enough to give himself for me. What did Allah do for me?
Allah gifted me what? Vision,
What did
hearing,
Allah give you? What did Allah do for you?
reason, the most important thing, reason,
Allah give you reason?
reason, the sense.
Are you sure? Think that again.
Brain,
Think that again.
brain, yeah. Health, alhamdulillah. The sun. Tell me something.
This gentleman has arms, he's breathing, he's got eyes, he's got ears, he's walking, he's living walking. I am living walking.
Sunny day.
So,
Who gave us the sun? Who gave us the sun?
that's not my question. My question is,
It's for free, by the way.
God of Bible,
Do you pay
stop
listen?
crying, stop crying.
Do you pay
God of
solar
Bible,
tax? Do you pay
loved
solar
me
tax?
enough,
Council
He
tax?
gave himself for me so that I can have eternal life with God. What did Allah do for you? How did Allah demonstrate His love for you?
The best thing that Allah made me, you know what? That He made me aware of His grandeur. That I submitted to Allah. That's the most important things.
And
To
Muhammad,
the oneness of
and
Allah.
Muhammad. So,
I'm Muhammad, listen,
my
Muhammad.
question is,
Jesus,
Allah
Moses, Muhammad,
did
Ibrahim, all of them.
nothing for you. Allah did nothing for you. That's all you are telling.
Look at that, look at that. Who created this? Who created this? Who created
God of
everything?
Bible.
Huh?
God of Bible created.
Really? It's the same God of Quran.
No.
God of no. What do you mean no?
No,
One second. God.
Allah can't even tie the shoes
Allah is a
of
different name to
Jesus
God.
Christ.
God created. Yeah.
Does Allah have a
There are
son?
3 religions
Does
from God.
Allah have a son?
There are 3 religions
Does
from
Allah
God.
have a son?
Allah doesn't need a son. Allah doesn't need a wife.
Did Allah suffered on the cross for humanity? Did Allah,
Can you listen?
out of His love, gave His
Your
son
communication
for you?
skills are shit. You're not listening.
Thank
You're
you.
just
I'm better than
You're
Allah.
just
No
speaking.
worries.
What?
I'm better than Allah. No worries.
Hey, it's fine, man. It's fine. You find a lot of like that. But sorry for that. But you said
What
like
did Allah
Allah.
do for you?
Allah. What did Allah did?
What
Allah
did
gifted me the gift of Islam. That's the most
You're better
important
than
thing.
Allah. So what is it about Islam?
Yeah, submission.
What is it about Islam gift?
Submission to His will, orders, instructions, injunctions, name it. A lot of things.
So,
Yeah.
so what is it about Allah you need to
I'll tell you
study?
something. You see your speech.
For example,
Your speech, honestly,
can you tell me?
Your speech
Can you
is
tell me about the character of Allah?
Do you know the Darwinist? You know the Darwinist?
Can you tell me?
You know what
about
the Darwinist
character
says?
of Allah?
For example, the Darwinist is not a human being. Right now,
About the character of
right now,
Allah.
I'll tell you something. Right now, I will bring an ape. You know ape? A monkey, yeah? And I will give him what? A typing machine, yeah? And that ape, yeah? Tomorrow or next week, he gonna come up with, you know what? A sonnet or a play similar to that one of what? Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. A monkey would write this. By next week, he would do it. Isn't it? He can do it, yeah? The monkey. You got what I'm saying here? So, your reason is similar to the reason of some of the Darwinists, evolutionists. It's the same thing, basically. It's not that.
Tell me about the character of Allah.
What do you mean? He doesn't know. What do you mean? Don't know. The eyes, hands, what?
He doesn't know. Neither do you know, neither do I know. No one
Not
knows.
because it's so great. Allah is so great. So great. Whatever we imagine about Allah, we can't. We can't fathom, we can't grasp the being, or what you call it, the intrinsic nature of Allah. Nobody can fathom it.
So what
Nobody can
about
fathom it.
the book of Allah? What about
Sorry?
the hands of Allah? What about the feet of Allah?
Hey, listen.
What
Allah
about what about eyes
has
of
hands,
Allah?
hands, fingers, feet. Allah has eyes, yes, but listen,
How many hands
they
does
ain't,
Allah have?
they're not similar to any. Not your eyes. No. Listen, I know that very well.
We don't believe in hadith. Hadith is not Quran.
Yes,
Hadith is not
yes,
Quran.
but it's not similar to this. It's not similar to this.
Does it look like hands of chicken? Does it look like hands
I
of
don't know.
what does Allah hands of Allah look like?
Allah is far greater. Do you know the word Allahu Akbar? Do you know the word?
If you go,
Yes, but you know what that means? You know what that means? Allah is far greater than what we imagine, what you imagine. It's His hands like my hand.
Allah's qualified and Allah looks like a deficient person. Okay? I'm sorry Allah is deficient. I'm sorry Allah is limited.
No. This is crap. This is nonsense. I'll tell you why, yeah? Because Allah is not confined to time and space. Why? Because Allah created time and space. He is not confined to time and space. Imagine right now, if you mess up, if you mess up,
I'm showing them what's up with.
Don't ever put your hand in my bag. Don't ever put your hand in my bag.
Allah, if you ask, I'll tell you something, yeah? Right now, if you mess up, yeah, police will imprison you, will put you in a cell. You know why? Because we are weak. You know what? We are confined to space. We are confined to space and time. They can put you in a cell, yeah? You're gonna suffer in that cell. Why? Because you are confined to space. The space can contain us. Space can contain us, but space cannot contain Allah. You know why? Because Allah Himself created this space and time itself. I read it. Have you read about the cosmology?
I want to see some.
I was born.
I am. So you're not giving me a chance.
I was born in Aleppo. Yeah, I grew up. Yeah, born and bred. But here's the thing. Yeah, tell me something. Have you read about the Big Bang Theory?
Just make sure that you are not talking.
No, I read the Bible.
You're not atheist. But listen, your reason is worse than the atheist and the agnostic.
Shut up and listen.
Oh yeah, I know.
You expressed me, Allah cannot.
I'm same for the Quran.
No, cannot be confined, controlled by space.
can't. You know why? Because he created space.
When Allah is sitting in his golden bed,
I don't want to stick to the facts and shit.
and ask Muhammad to come closer, how come Allah is able to sit on his golden bed? That's first question. Second
No.
When Allah came into
All right. That's a good one. But you know something, yeah? Are you talking about the throne? The golden bed, the throne? The throne of Allah. No, it's the throne. We call it the throne. The golden throne.
Allah has throne and
Yes.
Allah has golden bed.
No, Allah doesn't have. He has a chair and he has a throne. I don't know where did you come up with this nonsense. From where did you come up? It's not in the Quran, it's not in Sunnah. He has a throne and he has a chair. That's it. Apart from that, nothing.
It's a golden bed.
Huh?
It's a golden bed.
Don't go to the weak sources and get me that. But here's the thing, you know why?
Let me tell you about Allah's golden bed. And then after that, I want you to tell me how Allah was able to fit in the planet Earth. Not what? But
Allah has much more exalted to fit the planet Earth.
Really?
He created it.
Really?
Yes.
Allah is going to disagree with you, sir. I know it's laughable. If I were you, I would laugh too.
I'll tell you what, yeah. I don't know with what face you're gonna face Allah tomorrow after that.
I am not
don't
going to
know.
face Allah.
What? Jesus
Allah
Christ.
can't even find my shoes, sir.
Never. Yo, I tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what. You're right. The spot is not here, yeah. Mental institution, honestly. With all due respect, though. All due respect, though.
Surah 53, background of Surah 53.
What is it? What
verse
is this?
7 and 9.
Again, what is this?
Background of Surah 53, verse 7 and 9. Allah and
Say
His
it again, say
golden bed. So I read it to you.
Is there something in Arabic? I could understand that much better.
Jibreel took me until we reached the Great Veil. At the almost boundary, Jibreel said, "Go forward, Muhammad." He said, so I went forward until I reached a bed of gold, and it was bedding from the silk of paradise. It's not only Allah has golden bed, but His beddings are from the silk. It's very, very uncomfortable. I know from the experience. Don't ever get silk bedding. So Allah has His golden bed with silk beddings. So how did Allah fit in that? That's first.
Israelites are here.
Huh?
The Israelites.
Where? Oh yeah, I'll see them. Yeah, they've
Where's the
got-
Heiko gone? Heiko.
By the terrorists, they could not stand by either. They had to do something. They had to fight back to an extent, which is exactly what happened.
So when this agreement was signed, did Ukraine sign to never enter to NATO?
The non.
No. In 1991.
Once
it was-
again.
Not yet.
The Minsk agreement, I would say, it's for this current situation, it's absolutely irrelevant. Once again,
It
because
is.
nobody upheld it.
It is.
Because
relevant.
Russia
It's relevant.
They
It's very
violated
relevant.
their own agreement.
If everyone's ignored it,
On the first chance that they got. Hold on. So wait. Let me give you an example. Let's say me and you, we make an agreement. So I have a knife. Imagine I have a knife in this hand. I have a knife and you have a knife. And we make an agreement. I tell you, you give me your knife and I agree to never attack you. You give me your knife. You have no power to defend yourself. I shank you with both the knives at the same time. What is this situation? This is exactly what's going on in Ukraine. Ukrainians cannot uphold their side of an agreement that has already been violated by Russia. It's impossible. When you're getting attacked, you need to defend yourself. If you get punched in the face, you need to fight back. If somebody pulls a knife on you, you need to do something about it. You can't just try to appease them. It's,
yeah, he's saying
it's not a silly question at all. It's actually a very important question. It's a very important question. Sorry, let me just answer This is a very good question, and this is something that is really heartbreaking right now. Because there are Ukrainians who are right now in their basements trying to simply survive the Russian onslaught. And there is not much that they can do, and there is not much we right now can do to help them at this moment. But there is one thing we can do, and that is to pressure the governments of the world to help Ukraine, because this is not a war that Ukraine can win fully by itself. This is a war where Ukraine needs help from outsiders, from other countries, to help them face this threat of Russia. And for your friend, I'm really sorry, I have no idea what the situation is. Sorry? I understand, I understand.
Missiles in Ireland. Would Britain take it? If Russia had these missile defense systems in Ireland, would we? Britain would go crazy.
It's the same thing.
There was a possibility of trying to escape Ukraine a few days ago, but now this possibility is very different, especially considering that the Russian troops have been indeed attacking innocent civilians, as shows the video where the armored Russian vehicle has run over a civilian car, and the man inside, by a pure miracle, managed to survive. It was an old individual, an old gentleman who was in there. He had to be pulled out of his car because the car almost folded on top of him. Everybody has seen that video. Absolutely ridiculous what is going on right now. Sorry, this gentleman was...
Yeah. See how the media is going crazy now? What happened in Iraq? Just shows you nothing.
Did you see the CNN reporter yesterday? What he said? You know what he said?
The biggest joke is the fucking
He said this is not true.
The BBC presenters are fucking crying. He's coming out. What happened in fucking Iraq?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. That's another point that nobody has made before. The Winter Olympics were a very good way for Putin to kind of try to mask this invasion. But I would say that he completely failed with that, because right now the invasion is what's on the news everywhere. Every part of the world knows about the invasion.
What do you think about the fact that 18 to 60-year-old Ukrainian men are now not able to leave the country?
Yes, that's a debatable law that was passed by the Ukrainian government. We could go whichever way with it. We could say it violates human rights, or we could say it's a necessary measure to do during a time of war. I don't have a strong opinion about it. It is necessary. But it is very sad that that Ukrainian men and boys are going to be forced for this war that was imposed on them by a Russian dictator. All I have to say is that I'm very sad about the current situation, and I wish all the best for the Ukrainian heroes who have been fighting like true heroes against the vastly superior in terms of numbers and also in terms of equipment Russian force.
Today Denmark, a few hours ago, Denmark has decided to close the border with Russia, so they can't invade the other parts. An hour ago.
Very good, very good.
The world is with Ukraine, the whole world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is very important. It's very important
apart
to isolate
from the leftists, apart from the communists, the leftists, the wankers, the Islamists, and all that shit.
The Stop the War coalition.
They are only the ones
sitting at home on their asses.
This is the real war.
Because this isn't the Americans, and they're only bothered about war if it's Americans or British.
This is a real war.
It's a real war. It's a real war. Of course it is.
To less important things.
People
start blaming Ukrainians of allegations of being Nazis, which I already addressed.
Do you know Jeremy Corbyn was due to be on LBC 2 days ago. He pulled out because he knew he would be asked about it.
There is not
he couldn't bring himself to criticise
Ukraine.
Russia. So he pulled out on
You didn't let me finish. You did not let me finish. Svoboda is not a Nazi group. It never was a Nazi group. It never will be a Nazi group. Really? Yeah, really, absolutely.
During this time?
Yeah, really. really absolutely. Now, if you let me finish,
It's not part of the army, though. It's not even part of the army. No, it's not. It's a private. It's not a state. You can go no. It's not a part of the Ukrainian state military.
Some members that identify themselves with the Nazi ideology. There are some,
I know,
but they're not ruling Sloboda, and they're not ruling
The
Ukraine.
Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Justice was not part of Sloboda?
Sloboda is not a Nazi group.
What's that got to do with this paramilitary group?
It's not a Nazi group.
It's a paramilitary group. You swallow Russia's propaganda. That's your problem. You've been watching too much RT. Open your eyes.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, he's French. He can tell us what's a Nazi and what's not a Nazi. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so what is the connection with the government of this paramilitary group? What is the connection?
The connection? I mean, the government, the Ukrainian government, they use this...
They use them.
They use them, yes.
How do they do that?
Because they want to fight for their country. They're really proud of their Ukrainian country. And they will fight until their death.
And what's your source of evidence for this?
MI6 and...
MI6, you're speaking to MI6. MI6 are giving you information. Holy schmoly. Are you a spy? Are you a French spy? Why are MI6 talking to you?
Hey guys, if
you're talking nonsense.
Private discussion, maybe have it somewhere
You
else.
just said MI6 told you.
No, they report. Go to MI6 report.
Oh, there's an MI6 report.
Even the French government has released a report. There is a Nazi groups in the army of Ukraine. Yes, I can provide you the evidence.
There's a Nazi in the Metropolitan Police. There's a Nazi in the London Fire Brigade. It doesn't make them Nazi organisations.
Thank you.
Ukraine has a
That's what
Nazi
I'm saying.
government. Svoboda is a Nazi
But
organization.
you said no.
Suddenly everybody's a Nazi. Why might that be? Every
Stop
single
swallowing
time
the
somebody
Putin
starts
propaganda.
opposing the Russian war machine, they get called Nazis. Now, think about that for a second. Why is it that every single place that opposes Russia gets called a Nazi?
Because it's Putin propaganda.
I just want to make a point to everyone here. I was in Berlin in 2020, and I was one of the counter-protesters to the anti-COVID measures. And there were swastikas in Berlin City being held by people that I was counter-protesting against Nazis. Why then should Russia invade Germany as well? Should Russia invade London because there are Nazis in London?
Absolutely.
There are Nazis still everywhere, which is
There is a percentage of Nazis everywhere.
That is
a small minority. Ukraine is no different.
No, exactly. That is not at all a reason to invade an entire country and kill.
I'm not saying because they're Nazi, the reason they invade Ukraine because they're Nazi. I didn't say that.
Why did you mention it?
Why are you relating it together?
Because these people, this army, 100,000 people of Nazi, including the army.
100,000
yes,
people
yes,
are
according to the
Nazi.
report.
100,000. Are you joking?
Yes, 100,000 of people are in the army. The French report again. The French report.
Oh, a French report.
Where's the French report?
What was this French
what
report?
They say this army, this particular army, are bombarding Donbass and Donetsk since 2014. That's what they're saying.
Says the French report.
Well, this is absolute insanity. You know, I've heard allegations of some people in Ukrainian government being Nazis, but I've never heard such unbelievable and ridiculous claims that 100,000 Nazis. Yes, there's legions of Nazis walking through Ukraine.
Do you deny they are not bombarding Donetsk and the Donbass since 2014?
Buddy, they are at war.
Are they?
They've been bombarded and they are bombarding back.
To explain to the population where the Donetsk and Donbass are, where
it's not Donetsk. Hold on. I will explain. Steve, wait. Steve, wait. I will explain,
Yes,
and
explain.
including you, because clearly you don't understand the meaning of that. You said Donetsk and Donbass. Donetsk is inside of Donbass. Donbass is a larger region. That includes Donetsk and Luhansk.
Steve, can you
Now let me hold on.
Steve,
You
don't be racist against the French. Can you do me a favour? Can you get one out of my backpack? It's in the top bit. The zip bit.
Bombarded
Yeah.
since 2014. They're Ukrainians.
No. The top one. The top one. The zip.
Indeed bombarded
Yeah, at the back.
in response for the Russian troops who are located in those exact regions.
Oh shit! I'll put it
who
in
were
the
bombarding
big bit,
the
ain't I?
Ukrainian positions.
Does it look like
Now we
Ukrainian
come back.
land?
Exactly. It was an act of self-defense
So you're
against
saying
Russian
there were
aggression.
Russian troops
troops in Donetsk and Luhansk?
Run out of electric.
Absolutely.
Hello.
100%. There were Russian troops, there was Russian artillery, there were Russian
yes, I agree with you.
weapons.
Oh, there is weapons, Russian weapons, Russian artillery as well. You know,
Okay, so
Russian troops. You're lying.
Hold on. I'm lying. Okay, hold on. So there's artillery. There's no Russian.
No, thank you very much.
There's
Thank
no
you.
Russian troops.
Do you want to put the other one?
That's what
You just said there were Russian troops in 2000.
There were.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The Ukrainian
But I suppose you don't think there were Russian troops in Georgia,
Who
right?
brought the artillery?
I
Did
suppose
the
you don't think there
artillery
were
drive
Russian troops in
itself?
Georgia when they took their
Drive
labor.
themselves. Excuse me, but there were Russian citizens driving that artillery.
Crimea is a Russian territory now.
Because they've stolen.
Absolutely. 100%. There were pictures and videos of Russian troops and Russian military vehicles going inside of Ukraine since 2014. This is insanity. This is exactly.
We're talking about Ukraine. Russia can fuck off out of
You have to be
Ukraine.
consistent, so it's okay.
No, Russia can fuck off out of Ukraine. Russia can fuck. What do you mean no? Why are you such a? Why do you want Russia stealing other countries?
If France go to Morocco or Algeria, wherever you're from, are you happy?
They're already there. So they're using the
But they were not there in Ukraine last week.
They're using them as a muppet.
They said we go overnight to finish them. It's the fourth day.
You just hate America.
They say one day we
You just
finish
hate America,
Ukraine.
don't you?
They say one day we finish it, yeah? It's 4 days, they haven't done anything.
I would say that there are Nazis in the battalion, but it's not the vast majority, once again, because they have not done any overt moves that would be linked with National Socialism. And the only thing they've done is that they fought against the Russian incursion of Ukraine. They have not done anything that would violate human rights. Up until now. It remains to be seen. As you say, as I said before, we don't know. We're not sure about that.
And they played a crucial part in winning the,
Yeah, they played their part in fighting the war for the Ukrainian side. But they're not. Let's suspend our disbelief and imagine for a second. Let's imagine, yes, Azov Battalion have Nazis and all that stuff. They're not ruling the Ukrainian military. They're not even part of the Ukrainian military. They're only an independent militia that happens to be on the same side as the Ukrainian military. They don't take orders from the Ukrainian government. So where did these conspiracy theories come from that Ukraine has a Nazi government? It's absolute insanity. Absolutely. There's no other word to describe it. I respect any argument, even pro-Russian arguments. I will listen to them and I will hear them out. But this is pure insanity. This is pure insanity.
Do you think the 2014 uprising was in any way sort of subsidised or promoted by the Americans or the EU?
Yes.
So you do. Do you
I'm
consider?
sure.
Do you consider it to be a legitimate revolution, or do you think it was a coup?
100% legitimate. It was completely legitimate because Yanukovych made promises he didn't keep. And when a president makes clear promises to do something, and then he does the exact opposite of what he promised to do, and not only that, we need to look at the specific situation of Ukraine. If Yanukovych had closer relations with Russia, Ukraine would lose its independence all over again. He would have agents in all parts of the Ukrainian government. He would rule Ukraine just as he rules Belarus, indirectly. And the Ukrainians didn't want that. They rebelled against it and they overthrew a tyrannic ruler. Just like the Belarusians tried to do, they were stopped by the Russian incursion. Just like the people of Kazakhstan were trying to do, and they were once again stopped by a brutal intervention by Russia. That is what I think.
What promises did you break?
Sorry. That was what I was going to ask. He was very, very good question. Very good question. So the promises that Yanukovych had made to the Ukrainian people were closer relations with the EU and perhaps consideration of joining the EU in the future, because the Ukrainians wanted to be part of the European Union in that time. He broke those promises completely after he became president. Very shortly after he became president, in fact, he immediately started making moves to get closer relations with Russia and make Ukraine part of a trade alliance with Russia and a few other countries.
Were there not an agreement between US at the end of USSR between US and NATO to dissolve NATO, to extend NATO and to Ukraine's territory?
Well, look, definitively not to dissolve NATO. Nobody was discussing the dissolution of NATO, but there was discussion. Yeah, there were discussions of not extending NATO, and they were kind of agreeing on it, but at the same time, they didn't sign any treaties, so it wasn't any proper agreement. But let me tell you something. I know what you mean right now. You mean that NATO perhaps provoked Russia in this, but there is another view to this, even to this situation, because Russia was openly invading ex-Soviet Union countries. It was openly invading Georgia. Of course, people were afraid of looking at these invasions, and they wanted to join NATO to have protection against Russia. And I ask this to every single pro-Russian person who I debated today and through all the days that I've debated pro-Russians. I've asked them, do you really think Ukraine would have been invaded by Russia if it was part of NATO? Every single one said no, when they didn't try to escape the question. Because it is a difficult question. It would prevent this war, it would prevent the Russian incursion. So, is the NATO to blame? Absolutely not. What is to blame is the lack of action that the West has had up until now.
Responsibility as well in the fact that they ask the Ukrainians to not develop nuclear to protect themselves. Do they have a responsibility?
Yes. A million times yes. That is what I was talking about when I mentioned the Budapest Memorandum. The UK and the US have promised to help Ukraine uphold its sovereignty in the face of Russian incursions in the future if Ukraine disarmed its nuclear arsenal. And it was the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world, uncomparable to any other nuclear disarmament or any disarmament in human history, completely unprecedented. And people don't speak about it yet.
So your main justification for the uprising in 2014 and the reason you say it's legitimate is because the Ukrainian president went back on his promises of aligning more closely with the EU than aligning with Russia. Now, was there anything...
That's the main one, that's not the only one. It was electoral fraud as well.
Yeah, were there any things that were specifically unconstitutional? Because I think a lot of people will consider that to be something, okay, so a politician broken their promises, vote them out in the next election. Is there anything that's like specifically him breaking the constitution that I would...
Absolutely. I can give you the exact example of that. In the beginning, when Yanukovych was it was already all planned to join Russia in the economic alliance, the Ukrainians went to protest. And it was a completely peaceful protest, with absolutely nothing implying anything else. And Yanukovych, he tried to beat down those protests with military force.
Using assault weapons sold to them by Britain.
He tried to beat down those protests with paramilitary semi-police forces like Berkut and all kinds of different, police forces. He was very aggressive and very violent on that. And after that, the Ukrainians toppled him. Sorry, go on.
They were shooting both sides on those Maidan demonstrations.
Shooting both sides? What do you mean by that?
Both sides were being shot at by snipers.
What both sides?
So in other words, people who were...
So the policemen were getting shot by the snipers?
Both of them were being shot.
But there was nobody protesting against joining the EU. No.
There was pro-Russians. There weren't many.
There was the police that was beating down the Ukrainian protesters who were protesting against joining Russia in the alliance and for coming with the EU, coming closer to the EU. Nobody was shooting any pro-Russians.
It reminded me in that way.
That is an absolute lie. I deny that categorically.
It was very similar to what happened.
The Democratic Party in America did a special deal with Russia and NATO to do what they're doing to Ukraine now. Don't you think there's a game somewhere among those three?
If I think that they agreed about this with Russia.
Because now they said to Zelensky, why don't you escape and come out? So it looks obvious that something is going on between those.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah?
It's a conspiracy
I think it might be a little bit conspiratorial to imply that. I think, look, again, I have lots of criticisms of NATO and especially US and UK about the current situation. But it is about things they didn't do, not about things that they did.
Did you really expect them to do that? Did anybody really expect them to do that?
What kind of a question is this? They were bound to do it. They signed an agreement, the Budapest Memorandum. What kind of a question is, did you really expect them to do that? It's like asking a Polish person, did you really expect Hitler not to invade you? Oh, you dummy. It's a ridiculous way of putting it, Heiko. I'm sure you see it.
What you said was that the British and Americans have made commitments to defend Ukraine.
Did
you really expect them to do that?
Here we go, exactly the same question. And I just showed how this is a ridiculous question to ask. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because, again, It's like asking a Polish person who got invaded by Nazi Germany, what did you expect people to help you? Poland, hold on, Poland has alliances. Poland has pledges of help. People have pledged to help Poland when it would get invaded. Did they help Poland immediately? No. They tried to solve the situation peacefully with Hitler, with Nazi Germany, who had absolutely no interest with solving the situation peacefully, just like Putin has no interest in solving the situation peacefully. Putin will go as far as he can until he's shown brute force, because that's the only thing that Putin understands.
Can I ask...
I haven't asked one.
Okay, go on.
Can I ask you about Britain's support for Yanukovych? When Yanukovych was killing people on Euromaidan, your countrymen, wanting to join closer with Europe and go away from Russia. Yanukovych, there's now 100 people still missing from that process, probably dead. Did you know that?
Probably, certainly.
What do you think of the British sale of £22 million worth of military equipment to Yanukovych in 2013, including sniper rifles, weapon sights, and other military equipment? If you're asking Britain to help Ukraine, are you not at least going to acknowledge that in the past Britain has helped to make life miserable for Ukraine and stir the problem in Ukraine?
Well, first of all, I would ask you, what is military
sniper
equipment?
rifles? That's the most important one.
Okay, so 20 million in sniper rifles.
I'm sorry.
Every single Ukrainian citizen would have. Half of the Ukrainian citizens.
The Ukrainians shot in the head by those British sniper rifles. I'm sure
this
they
is
find
a
that
ridiculous
very funny.
conspiracy
I'm sure they
theory.
find that really funny.
I'm
Pablo,
certain you must realize how ridiculous this sounds. 20 million pounds on sniper rifles? Are you serious?
That's a lot of sniper rifles, my friend. And like I
yeah,
said,
that's a lot of sniper rifles. Nobody would buy that many sniper rifles.
Would you minimize that and tell that to a family of a person who was shot in the head by
this
one
is
of those
ridiculous.
rifles?
This is pure ridiculous.
No, would you find that
this makes no sense? This makes no sense. Sorry,
by British sold sniper rifles. That is important. Britain is better.
Okay, let him speak.
I have a two-part question.
No problem.
First is, do you believe in nation states?
Okay.
And secondly, what do you think of where the borders are drawn in Ukraine? Off you go, Kyle.
What's the second one? Sorry.
What do you think of where the borders are drawn in Ukraine?
What do I think about where the borders should be drawn?
Where the borders are drawn as opposed
where
to
they are drawn?
Yeah, as opposed to where you think they should be drawn.
Okay. Well, where they are drawn right now, nobody knows, because nobody knows the exact positions of the different military forces, as is obvious.
Officially, where do you, like, looking at the borders of the modern state of Ukraine that everyone recognizes?
Officially is very open to interpretation in terms of Ukraine, because some countries have recognized the terrorist nations of Donetsk and Luhansk as legit countries, and other countries have not recognized them.
Do you believe that the east of Ukraine is full of people who primarily identify as Russian and Russian speakers, primarily like first language Russians? Do you think that those people should be included within a nation called Ukraine? Or do you think Ukraine should be for the people who speak the Ukrainian dialect or Ukrainian language? Do you think Ukrainians or Ukraine should include people who are also first and foremost Russians?
What I think is this. I think that the people in eastern Ukraine are really angry with the current situation, and this is not what they signed up for. What they signed up for is to fight Nazis, which is what Putin told them that they were doing, and which is part of the lie that Putin has inculcated into them. He has spread his propaganda to those people, and I feel very sad for them, because basically their lives have been ruined because of a big fat lie that Putin has propagated about Russian speakers being oppressed in Ukraine, which is absolutely not true.
I'm not talking about oppression. I'm not talking about the Nazi question. I'm just saying, like, generally, personally, like, I believe in the concept of a nation state. So you've got people with the same language, the same culture, the same history, and you would group those people together within a country, and that would be a nation. It would be a nation and a state together, nation state. Clearly, in Ukraine, there is a bit of a divide. The east-west divide is quite a significant thing. You also have a lot of people who are more pro-Russian in the south. Do you think that it's a good idea to have all of those people together under one state? Or do you think maybe it might be a better idea to split it into people who all seem to agree with one thing and people who all seem to agree with another thing, so people can actually just have two different options, so everyone can have their own options?
Yeah, I understand your question, but you also need to understand that before Putin started spreading misinformation, nobody had a problem with living in Ukraine. The Russians, the ethnic Russians that lived in eastern Ukraine were perfectly all right with living in eastern Ukraine.
There was a clear political division, though.
Of course, political division, yes. Nobody was trying to separate from Ukraine. Nobody wanted to join Russia. No, there were no conversations of that, at least not on a serious level. But only after Putin started making the allegations of Ukrainian Nazis,
whether they were
only then they started rebelling.
Whether they were created by that or not, the situation you have now is where a significant number of people in the East have declared they want something independent, or would, even if everyone withdrew and there was a democratic election, I pretty much guarantee you the referendum would go in favour of separation or unity with Russia.
Unity with Russia?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe separation or unity with Russia.
Well, I'd say we'll decide that when this war is over. Right? For now, it's too early to decide.
Do you believe that?
Would you say to the people in the east of Ukraine, would you say, look, we want to win the war with Russia, but at the end of the war, if you guys want to leave, then you can leave, you can separate, you can have out. So would you say that to those people?
No, what I would say is that you've been lied to, you've been deceived, and you've been bamboozled by Putin. And now you see the truth as it is, exactly as it is, that Putin has made up this whole conflict to basically prove a point. And you have been nothing but his pawns. That is what I would tell them.
Even if people...
But then isn't the NATO story also like that?
Even if
Isn't the NATO what?
Isn't the NATO story?
What about
we're going to get you into NATO to defend you. Isn't that
They
like
don't want Ukraine in NATO. Germany and France have vetoed
I'm
it.
saying that, but that's what he was saying.
Ukraine is
They
never
made
going to
a
join
commitment.
NATO.
He was saying they made a commitment.
They're allied with NATO. They're never going to join NATO.
I didn't say NATO made a commitment. I said the UK and US made commitments.
Well, that is
make an argument for self-determination.
Well, that's not the whole NATO. That's part of NATO.
NATO is nothing without the Axis. It doesn't exist without the Axis.
To justify.
Sure, I mean, US is the most important part of NATO. It's not the whole. Anyway, that's debatable.
No, but when Ukraine wants...
also a false narrative. So if you're saying the Nazi narrative is false, isn't the narrative that joining NATO is going to happen, and that you're going to defend NATO, or the Americans to defend you? Isn't that also false?
No, but hold on. Now,
Are they too false?
I think I'm being misunderstood. I'm saying that Ukraine should have been allowed into NATO long ago. Right now,
Really?
right now, whether Ukraine joins NATO or not won't make that much of a big difference. What will make a big difference is if Ukraine gets help, military help, more direct help from the West, and absolute economic isolation for Russia. That is what we need right now. A symbolic joining of NATO. It is necessary. Russia would probably stop attacking.
Do you not think it's safer for everybody, including Ukraine, to be a neutral country? Ukraine should be a neutral country, shouldn't it? Not if you have a hostile military alliance right on Russia's border. Do you not see, from their point of view, how aggressive that is?
I'm sorry, but this is the silliest question I've been asked yet. This is absolutely.
How is it silly?
This takes the cake. This takes the cake.
But
I'll
do
explain
you not
why.
think it's very provocative to Russia to have NATO right on the border
I'll
with Russia?
explain it why it's a silly question. Once again, I'll give the example of Poland. This is like telling Poland, after they got invaded by Nazis and Soviets, why doesn't Poland become a neutral country and all this situation will be over? Of course we would like to be a neutral country. Russia won't let us be a neutral
wasn't in NATO.
country.
Poland wasn't initially in
I'm
NATO.
not saying Poland was in NATO. I'm saying
later. So Poland is a bad example.
Poland was in.
They didn't want Poland in NATO for exactly that
Poland was
reason.
in NATO. I'm saying you want Ukraine to be neutral. What kind of neutrality can a country that's being attacked be? How can it be neutral at that point? It's like I start punching you right now, and people tell you, "Oh, be neutral, Kyle. Be neutral." He's gonna stop.
I'm not saying they
It's
shouldn't.
ridiculous.
I'm not saying they shouldn't fight to defend themselves from Russia. That's great.
Well,
I
that's
love
not
that.
neutrality.
I love that. No, but
It's being
I'm
enemies.
saying they should be a neutral state and that they shouldn't join NATO, and neither should they join a military alliance with Russia. They should be a neutral buffer country.
What buffer country? Thank you very much.
What? It's true.
Ukraine should be a buffer country.
Why?
I'm
What's
done
wrong
with this
saying that?
question.
No, what's wrong
I'm
with
done
that?
with this question.
You're picking
No,
on
this
one
is-
word I said.
This is
They're a
exactly
neutral-
what I
they should be a
mean when I
neutral
say
country
people are
between the two.
deviating from things that matter. People are deviating from
How is that devi-
from the
I'm addressing
promises
this
that were
straight on.
made to Ukraine by the West, and not only by the West, by many different countries.
Can I ask a question?
Especially by
Can I
Russia,
ask one
which
more
is
question?
violated. How can you trust a country that violated
Can I ask
its
one more
promises?
question? Are you aware that Gorbachev met with George Bush, and he said that we'll let you rejoin Germany, reuniting with Western Germany? He said it's fine with that, and that's an amazing concession considering that Germany has destroyed Russia repeatedly throughout history. He was fine with that. He said as long as NATO does not expand 1 inch to the east. The Americans agreed at the time. You can read Gorbachev's memories.
And how is that treaty called?
It's not. It wasn't put on
Absolutely,
paper.
it's
But
not
that-
a treaty.
But that, so that doesn't
it's
mean it
not
matters.
something that was signed.
Oh, so you're saying we can make a gentleman's agreement and violate it later?
No, I'm
Fine.
saying
So
words
an
are
agree-
words and agreements are
so an
agreements.
agreement-
It's absolutely
a verbal
different.
agreement with the Americans
No,
means
hold
nothing.
on. Stop.
I see. I see how it is.
Excuse me?
Free for Ukraine.
Okay, what?
Freedom for Ukraine.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're okay with violating an agreement just as long as it's
What
not
I'm
on paper?
saying is
If
this.
it's on paper, then you don't agree with it.
Kyle,
If it's not,
it's debatable. Kyle, you don't understand what I'm saying and you don't
No, I'm
answer
listening. I'm
the
listening. I'm
question.
listening.
What I'm saying is, when you make a verbal agreement behind closed doors that nobody can truly see or prove,
You can go back on it and just say you just ignore it.
no, I'm
disregard
saying
it.
it's an uncertain agreement. And
It's
what
not-
Ukraine made
it wasn't
with
uncertain, it was a
UK,
promise.
US,
It was a
and
promise.
Russia was not an uncertain
It
agreement.
was a verbal
It was
promise.
a written down memorandum about what is going to happen in the future. Because once again, Ukraine has made the greatest sacrifice any country in human history has ever made in the name of world peace. Nothing even compares.
What?
You laugh.
Come
it
on.
shows how stupid you are, Kyle. You don't realize Ukraine did the biggest nuclear disarmament in human history. Enough nukes to end the planet.
Good, that was great. That's all good. But
Yeah, that's great. And you're laughing.
Enough
You're making a
exaggeration.
fool out of
Don't make
yourself.
exaggerations.
You're making an absolute fool of yourself. I feel bad for you.
No, why? There's no need to exaggerate, Pablo.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
What do you think of the current government of Ukraine? Do you believe that
The
they're-
current government?
Yeah, do you believe that they're corrupt, or do you believe that they're like, you know, keeping to the law?
So the current government of Ukraine has surprised me very positively in the last few days. I thought they would flee with their tails between their legs, but they have stood their ground and they started fighting against the Russian aggressor. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of how they've been behaving. Now, I'm not denying the corruption allegations. There is still corruption in Ukraine, for sure, absolutely. Especially the opposition party, which is basically the communist party in disguise. Because Ukrainians don't allow communist parties, fortunately, and they should keep it up that way. But yeah, indeed, there is some corruption. But President Zelensky, let me just finish with one more thing. President Zelensky has indeed made some moves to fight corruption, and he has made other moves to fix the infrastructure in Ukraine, for example, roads and all of those things. So he has indeed been a positive president up until now, and this situation with him standing his ground in Kiev is really telling that he is indeed seems to be a worthy president. Yes.
How many political parties are in Ukraine?
How many political parties? Ooh, that is not something that I know for sure. I don't know how many the exact number of political parties. I know the most relevant, the main one. The main one, that's basically the main one, is Servant of the People, which is the party of the Ukrainian president. It has a vast majority. There's also the opposition party, which, as I said, is the it's the Communist Party in disguise. It's basically still subversive Russian forces. Sorry?
Third party.
No, there's more parties. Yeah, there's lots of parties. There's so there's I think there's a nationalist party. There's a few other parties. But look, let's be honest here. They are less relevant. It's like talking about the Green Party. The Green Party is not really relevant. The one thing. Yeah, the two main ones, I guess. Sorry?
There's one party, Soros party.
Soros party, that's the opposition party, the Communist Party.
They're all the same.
They're all the same. Well, I kind of disagree with that, but sorry, yeah, go on.
What would you like Britain to do about all of this? Because Boris Johnson seems to have lit up Downing Street in like blue and yellow. But what do you actually want from Britain and the British people?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. Sorry, let me just answer this question, please. First, I'll answer yours next. So,
Can I just say as well, like to everyone, like just
yeah.
hopefully peace between
Absolutely.
neighbours and within countries.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, next question.
Wait, I didn't get to answer the question yet, so sorry. Anyway, your question was very good. It's what do I want the UK to do in this situation, right? So the first thing I want the people in the UK to do is to know, to be aware, to know what's going on, to actually figure out who are the aggressors and who are the people fighting for their freedom. That is the very first thing that needs to be done. And I know it might sound a little bit like a platitude, oh, just to know it, it's not actually doing anything. It is doing something, because people do not know, which is what I've seen many, many times. People do not know what's going on, people do not know why the war is being fought, and they don't know who's in the right of this war and who's in the wrong. That's the first point. The second point is to implement full throttle sanctions on Russia. They need to confiscate Abramovich's properties. Chelsea must not be owned by a Russian mobster. The Chelsea Football Club must not be owned because Chelsea is owned by Abramovich. No, because Abramovich owns Chelsea.
Yeah, they've been defending 20 years. And also, he stood down anyway.
I'm not talking against Chelsea. I'm talking against Abramovich owning Chelsea. You know what I mean? I have nothing against Chelsea. But Chelsea is his asset. Chelsea is his asset. That's part of his assets. No, look, again, I have nothing against football clubs. I'm not very fanatic in terms of football. This is not that kind of conversation. Okay, go on, fine.
10 years ago, there was 51 million people in Ukraine.
51?
Yes, over 50. 50 million.
More or less.
And now,
sure.
About 42. What happened with the 9 million?
They fled.
Why? Do you go democracy?
The war. Are we on the
war.
same page here? There's a war going on. It's been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, and some of it would have been European Union.
Huh?
Some of them would have gone. Not in the European Union, are they?
What?
Are they in the European Union?
What, Ukraine?
Yeah.
Ukraine is not in the European Union. No. I wish. We would never have this problem if we were in the European
I'm talking
Union.
about local authorities like Westminster, Kensington, and Chelsea that have the Russians got their money in there. So if they want to sanction them, that means the local authorities will lose out money.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, a million times yes. That is exactly the reason why they won't sanction them, because they're going to lose money. They know they're going to lose money. Sorry.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, he said that they're not sanctioning Russia more because they're going to lose money, basically. And that's
right. So let me ask you this: do you not feel that the European Union will throw Ukraine under the bus because of how much gas he controls?
I think the European Union has in its best interest to actually side completely with Ukraine right now and finally make Putin stop. Because
They're
if
not
they
going to
put,
do it, Pavlo.
Hold on, if they put a new president in charge of Russia, if Russia gets pressured enough, if Russia gets completely isolated, and if the Russian people, by the way, I don't oppose the Russian people. The Russian people have been protesting against Putin's tyranny. The Russian people have been speaking out against it. We don't know about it because Putin reduces those protests. He imprisons thousands of people. Thousands of people. Yeah, but we don't know the full scale of it. That's what I mean. We know it's going on. We know it's going on. We just don't know. Why have they voted in Putin? Because they're scared. That's why. They're absolutely terrified. Why have they voted in Putin? Why has there not been a successful opposition leader besides Putin?
He kills them.
Look at Navalny. He got poisoned. I think it's pretty clear why nobody got elected. What's my solution? Depose Putin. Put a new ruler. Well, again, first point, practical solutions. Very good, very good. Full throttle sanctions, complete isolation of Russia. More direct military help for Ukraine so that Ukraine can hold for far longer.
They don't want to have to, we're already paying double and triple for energy crisis. Do we want to double that? And the problem is people say, no, I feel for the Ukrainians, I really do. And
this is not a make-feel situation. No, I'm sorry. That's not the argument I'm making. I'm not making an emotional argument. We should help Ukrainian people because they want to be free. No. That is not the argument I'm making. The argument I am making, listen, the argument I am making is that it is in the best interest of the West to help Ukraine by blackmailing them. Do the Europeans still want to live under this yoke? Do they still want to be held at ransom by Putin? And this is a great opportunity to fix that. This is a great opportunity to end his reign of terror.
So the European Union is, a globalist, unaccountable oligarchy, which is a hostile supranational foreign state, which has been working to subvert our democracy in this country. Why
such harsh words? Seriously, such harsh words.
If Ukraine is going to ally itself with the European Union, surely Ukraine is going to be subverting its own democracy in the same way as these communist parties. And why would we want to do anything here as Britain which would favour the European Union? It's not just Ukraine, it'd be us helping a foreign superstate that hates us and is currently subverting our democracy.
Now, before I answer, let me just say that I am not an EU fanboy. if Russia was the threat for Ukraine, I would not want Ukraine to join the EU, or especially not NATO. But unfortunately, we got Russia as our neighbor, goody goody. But I will answer that with a different analogy. So when you have a bear at your throat, you don't worry about the wolf around the corner. You first worry about the bear who's trying to maul you to death, and then you worry about somebody who might attack you later on. And that is the situation where Ukraine is right now. Our very existence is at stake if we don't defeat Russia right now. So we need help from whoever offers help, and especially those who promise help.
Wouldn't you say, if you see a bear and a wolf fighting, that it's probably best to just stand aside and not intervene with the bear and the wolf?
Yeah, it would be nice for us, but we're getting attacked by the bear.
It's been coming after you, and you're thinking, if I help shoot down that bear, that wolf's going to have nothing to attack.
This bear has been bullying the wolf for generations, and now the bear is attacking us, the Ukrainians. And the wolf has the back of the bear completely free to attack it. This is the best opportunity.
Yes, but then we don't want. But if the bear and the wolf are busy fighting, like,
but they're not busy fighting. The bear is attacking Ukraine.
But the thing was, the Putin was not provoked by Ukraine.
That has been the British foreign policy for 1,000 years. Has been a divided Europe.
No, not divided Europe. A Europe at peace.
Which is a divided Europe.
Not necessarily. There could be alliances, but not an empire.
Yeah, exactly. And those alliances are what will move stuff together. But the EU is an empire. It's a Catholic Church 2.0. We had our Reformation. We chose to say, no, we want to read the Bible in our own language. We don't want to be controlled by
I'm not saying,
a country.
Hold on a second. I'm not saying you should join the EU.
Yeah, but you said like bear and lion or whatever. The thing is like Putin was never, how do you say that? Like Ukraine never like wanted the war. Like Ukrainians had only defending themselves.
Absolutely.
Like you say, why should we defend them? The thing is, all countries like kind of politically correctness, they said no, we will not help you, but we can send you like armor or the weapons or whatever. So as Ukraine can have their own like area because it's a real country, like Russia says no, but they still deserve to have the area to live in peace, and that's why Ukraine is defending themselves.
Absolutely.
And like
they have the right to defend themselves.
Putin was never like it was not Ukraine's fault that Putin decided to attack them.
Absolutely.
Like there was like always dispute because according to Putin, the Ukraine is the old area of Russia, and during the World War,
was another blatant lie.
It was another war, like. But if you think about it,
Are you the same?
If you think about it, all the Europe is basically the old Roman Empire. It doesn't mean it's a bit of Italy or something.
But if Ukraine's going to join the EU,
no, it's not about that. They're only defending themselves because they deserve to live.
Hold on. This is not what I am defending. I'm not saying we need to join the EU now. We need to join the NATO now. I'm saying we need help. We need help now. Something more specific.
What though? Ukraine joining the EU, and then there is no democracy in Ukraine. It's the same thing. On one hand, Russia takes over. There's no democracy. On the other hand, the EU
if you think about it, between United States.
Hold on. Do you know what China is doing right now?
Yeah, taking over everything. New World Order.
That's not exactly what I mean. I mean more specifically, they have troops patrolling around Taiwan. The Chinese are looking with very keen eyes at the situation to see if the West will do something, if the West still has teeth to defend themselves, to defend their interests. And the West is not showing any teeth. They need to show some teeth right now,
exactly
or else
they go for Taiwan. They're bogged down fighting a war against Russia. Now's the time, and that's exactly
what are you talking about?
Everything would kick off in the Middle East.
Do you think what kind of mental gymnastics is that?
This is literally world war in the making, right? So imagine this, right? US, right, and the West decides they're going to go get involved in Ukraine, puts all their military power into that, right? China then, next day, invades Taiwan, right? Then you're going to have some sort of situation, and I'm not pro or anti-Israel, right?
Wait.
You're going to have some sort of
I can see where this is going.
situation in the Middle East, which you know America's going to get drawn into, where countries go, oh, do you know what, right? It's open season. Any US ally, and that is where it's going to be chaos. It's going to be all over the world. There will be chaos, and then you'll have these states forming alliances with each other, and you'll have this Western bloc, you'll have this Eastern bloc, and you'll have a world war.
No, if you
How
think
does entering one war and making yourself
But
fight on
who's
two
saying
fronts, they call
entering
it a
World War? Where did you get that from? I'm certainly not preaching that. Where did you get that idea that I want a world war?
No, but you're saying we need.
I'm
sanctions.
saying there needs to be intervention to stop Russia.
And
Yes.
if there were military intervention, I'm not saying
in Ukraine, not in Russia.
I'm saying if there were military intervention, I know you've just called for sanctions, but I'm just saying if there were military intervention, that would mean that if China then moved into Taiwan, that we'd be fighting on two fronts. That's a worse situation than just going, do you know what, I'm going to just like put station some troops in Taiwan and just let Ukraine happen.
No, I think. Okay, hold on. So, in a war that has already started, you would preach inaction, but in a war that might start, you would preach action.
I think there's. I think there are.
How does that make sense?
I think there are clearer lines to be drawn on Taiwan and in Ukraine.
Clearer lines. What are those clearer lines? Why do those lines not exist in Ukraine?
The West are scared of Putin, and they're not scared
Well,
of
the West
China.
is also. Yes, it is. They
whole
should.
West is
Oh, they
scared.
should be a lot more scared of China than of Putin. China is far more powerful than Putin is.
In general, they're scared of both, but it's more Putin than
No. China is far more dangerous than Putin is. China is far more dangerous.
So at the end of the day, if we need to fight, we need to fight in Taiwan. And
No, you need to fight in Ukraine right now to prove that you can fight. Because if the West doesn't fight, it proves that they are toothless. It proves that Putin can do, if a second-rate dictator like Putin can do what he whims in Ukraine, a first-rate dictator like Xi Jinping can do whatever he wishes.
I agree. If they don't defend Ukraine, China will take Taiwan.
Absolutely. China will be emboldened to take Taiwan.
or weaker if we go into Ukraine and we bog down our armies in a war with Russia.
What do you mean
Will
bog
we
down?
be more or less able to defend Taiwan? More or less?